I did okay, Baba.
Okay. So, anyways, I'm not anybody's boyfriend on TikTok, so I will not speak to anybody's emotions. People, I will ask you, let me start from some of the things you said. So I'll ask you this. You said, and I quote, the major reasons of most divorces is because the man makes the major income of the house. I want to know whether you spoke that from a place of fact, data, or it was just your assumption.
Should I answer?
Give me a reference point. Cite a particular country. No, give me a particular.
I never said that.
You did say
you asked me. Well, let me land. You asked me a question. Let me answer, and then I'll give you your time back. I said the major reason for divorce is because the man makes a lot of income, and in turn, do not have time for their families. I never said because they made income was why there was divorce. You can ask everybody here; they will say that's
okay,
what I said.
So I jotted it down because I was careful. So let me show you the key words you mentioned that I wrote down. You said the major reasons of most, mark that word, most divorces is because the man makes the major income, and then the rest. Okay, so I am now asking, even with your second claim, is that a fact you can reference to data? Yes or no, or was that your opinion?
My brother, this is something I know. This is I wouldn't say
we're saying the same thing.
I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't say
it's my time anyway,
because I haven't researched it.
Okay,
sorry.
I didn't research it.
People's point. From what people have been saying since morning, they have been saying that you pay. Sorry, Ekene.
Coco, no. Don't encroach.
Coco, 1 second. Coco, 1 second. So
utilize your time. Once you guys need to understand it, don't worry, Cameron. I'll give you enough time. Don't worry. I've often said this. If you have a point, if you have something you're not comfortable with, or you don't accept, or you don't see it as something that is against, or something that you feel like is outrightly out from what you expect to be, submit. Wait till when is your turn. Then you have time. I'll give you that time to express yourself so that you can revisit that point. Not when somebody is speaking, you're trying to stop the person. It's as if we are debating now. You understand what I'm saying? We are not debating. We're just trying to get fact, and we're just trying to, hit a point.
I get you, Ekene. Sorry, Ekene.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. All right, Cameron, start from the scratch.
Thank you. No need. I was careful. There are so many other things he said I wrote down. And Belly, let me tell you, so I wasn't doing a selective hearing. But what is wrong is when you do some quoting, you are labeling a particular people, right? If you label men that they are the reason that just because they are making more money in their household, thus this is the reason for most divorces. Somebody can argue that because he never said that from a place of fact. Hence why I felt it was necessary to discuss that. It could be his opinion, and I respect that. Every opinion is valid, right? But when you project opinions as though they are facts, people can checkmate that. That is essence of discussions. And all I'm after is to prove that it is not the major reason of most divorces. He can do himself a favor and then, research on that. I also further said, give me a case study of a particular country where you're citing, because in most countries where you have high cases of divorce, it's not even major reason. It's not even making us top of the reason. But that's, by the way, let's move past that. Now, here is what I will say with respect to the topic. I do not have problems with Europeans being Europeans. I do not have problems with Africans being Africans. I do not have problems with Asians being Asians. But one thing I have problems with is when Africans are telling Europeans how to be Europeans, or when Asians are trying to tell Africans how to be Africans, or when Europeans are telling Africans or Asians how to be Asians. This is what I have problems with. And funny enough, this is one thing we do a lot of times. And if you look at the word carefully, one set of people doing this mostly are Africans. We are often the ones trying to think that everything about us is inferior. The way we behave, the way we speak, the way we eat, everything that defines us, we like to look at it as inferior. And until we replace it, we don't think we're evolving, we don't think we're growing. And now this is one funny thing I've noticed also. I rarely will see an African say, I like this thing that Asians are doing, let's copy them. I like these things that, let me say in Asia, Indians are doing, let's copy. Every time you see an average African woman want to copy, it's always from a point of how the UK women are doing it, or not even Germany. Most times it's how the UK people are doing it, how the US people are doing it. But if you look at the world critically, most part of the world that are developed are kicking against most of the ideas they pick from the West. It's unfortunate that we're the ones still embracing it the much. Look at the world critically. Every part of the world that you see that is not part of the West that has developed, they are kicking against most ideologies that they adopted from the West. Look at it critically. In fact, we have 7 continents. I don't believe in race because science says we have one major race, which is human race. But I believe in continents. Look at the world carefully. Out of the 7 continents you have in the world, can you point to one continent you think that has problems with the way they eat? Last I checked, an average Nigerian man is not manufacturing spoon. Indians are manufacturing spoon, but you still find them in US using chopstick to eat. They don't have problems with Belly, I don't like keyboard warriors. Come up, grab the mic. You tell me Asia. Come up, let's have a conversation. Don't be a keyboard warrior. Come up, let's reference data, let's reference materials. I like to do this. Out of the 7 continents you have in the world, I rarely have seen any continent that have problem with themselves, with the way they eat, with the way they do things, with the way they talk, with their structure of who works more and who works less. It's always people like you and I that have these problems. There is no difficulty. It's funny that somebody is coming here to argue and making it look like Cameron putting his aged father in a care home where strangers have to take care of. That is more better than when Cameron puts his house in a household and care for him. And a lot of times we say these things and it makes a lot of sense from how we're seeing it. And then the justification we have for that is, oh, in this generation, 2 household income is what is necessary to run a home. We understand. But you people will turn around and say, whoever or whatever somebody loves, no matter how busy they are, they make out time for what they love. I hear this almost all the time from women, that if somebody loves you, however busy they are, they will make out time for you. So if that is what you keep selling all the time, at what point do you now become so busy that your father becomes a too much liability that you have to put them somewhere for strangers to look after?
All right.
It's almost like... Thank you, brother.
I think it's me, Ekene.
Yes, you're having 5 minutes now.
Thank
then
you.
I'll come back to Jane.
I appreciate it. You know what is funny is most of our
Guys,
brothers
let's part up and share the live. If you're just joining, don't worry, hold on, my sister. Please, guys, let's part up and share the live. Part up and share the live. And if you're just joining, you're welcome. Don't forget to follow the host. Click the plus button, follow the host, so that whenever I come on live, you can always get a notification. We're always having an interactive section here. Every individual, every submission is, is right according to how you feel and based on your school of thoughts. But I just want you guys to always know that the fact that we have, topics, or we have submission here doesn't necessarily mean that, we should pick on each other. We're mature here. That's why we're gathered here to have a thought of our own view. And then please, I don't like it when people attach too much emotion into whatever we're discussing here. People are learning whether you like it or yes. Whatever we were saying here, whether you like it or yes, and I'll keep saying that people are benefiting either ways. So please, let's be mindful whatever we think or say here. So please, let's accept it the way it is, because it is what it is. All right, my brother. My sister, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Ekene. I was saying what is funny is the submission of our brother our brothers that have spoken here, talking about tradition and cultures and preserving all that, are our brothers that are in diaspora, our brothers that are not even here in Africa, our brothers that are living the Western life that they, preach to hate this much. But the problem here is, are we really going to come in here and theorize just this, or we're just going to tap into reality and talk about matters that are actually happening? I don't remember, even from the beginning of this topic, I don't remember anybody coming in here saying we should toast out the African culture. We have always saying we are Africans. What makes you who you are is about being an African. But at the end of the day, we are not going to run away from the fact that circumstances doesn't allow us, to stick with the certain things that our traditions and cultures were molded to be. We are living in days where women have to work. We have to help each other. You can't be a woman and sitting at home just because you're saying you're African. This life doesn't allow that. The times that we're living in doesn't allow that. For you to give your family a healthy, environment and lifestyle, you guys have to go out there and fend, both of you. We can't be sitting there and making references about China, Asians and all that while we are still suffering. We are suffering in Africa. You're even running away from Africa and going to that Europe that you guys don't want to tap into their realities, and you're not actually living there, you're just preaching it. But what I would want to say, let's tap into reality. Let's talk about those matters, because the fact is, the life that we're living right now, honestly, it doesn't allow a wife to just stay at home and say, I'm a wife, I'm just going to look after the kids. It doesn't allow that. So I think that's where my submission ends. We just need to be real with this.
Okay, Jane. Are you there, Jane?
Would have given the remaining 2 minutes to Cameron now. I think you would have won.
Cameron. Okay, Cameron, finish up. Or you want to take the 2 minute? Okay, wait, Cameron, Jane, I'll come to you now. Okay, Cameron, to finish the 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so let me even say this. Some people are running away from their country. Not only Africans are running away. Different set of people are running from one place to the other. I've lived my life outside Africa in more than one continent, but I'm live streaming from Africa. Life is better off for me right now in Africa where I am. A lot of people may not have the privilege, which I acknowledge, but it's not that we are running away. Now here is what I will say. I'm responding to one comment on the comment section. Say allow people to make their choices. Exactly the point. Last I checked, out of the 54 countries in Africa, I have not seen one single country that is telling the British people, this is how you must live. Let me swap it. It is them telling you, you must be a Gabriel or a Gabriela. If you're not a Gabriela, you are not entitled to this. You're not allowed for this. You must be. It is them telling you, you have to devalue your currency. If you don't devalue it, you're not entitled to XYZ. No African country that I know of has ever told any part of the world that you must be like this, you must abolish this part of your culture and adopt this mind. None. Zero of my knowledge, except somebody will challenge me and point one to me. None to my knowledge. Hence why I am having this issue of people like you and I that are now acknowledging that we are civilized, we are educated, we are now better than our fathers, we are now well-traveled, we've gone to school, we now have more degrees. Why are we doing the same things that put us down? This is my problem. The same things people fought for to give you life. Why would you claim that you're now educated and then you're doing worse than your ancestors did? Because if somebody will have to come and tell me that definition of being beautiful is that I have to scrape off my hair and then look for a dead human being say I put on my hair, that if I don't do it that way I'm not beautiful, I need to question that idea. I don't have problems with people making choices. The problem I have is stop telling people how they should be. And oftentimes you're telling them how they should be from a point of they should be like you. And if they are not looking like you have a problem with that. This is what I have. And statistically, I am waiting for somebody who will tell me that care homes are better off than caring for your parents at home. I'm waiting for that person that want to have the argument. I need the mic.
All right, Jane. Jane, are you there? Jane.
First of all, who told people to change? I don't get it. Maybe I misunderstood what Cameron is saying. Who told people to change? I don't get that one. People who are coming here, they're coming to better themselves because where we are back home, it's either there are no jobs, depending where I'm from a different country from yours. So we come for just to better ourselves. If you want education, just to get able to afford to go to school. And we are grateful we've had the opportunity to go and study because that's important. And I'm going to go back to, is it Vibe Soul? Because you was talking about how people are treated in the hospitals, how people, or racism, all that stuff. Right, I'm going to just be honest with you. Racism is there, it exists. And racism is actually in every culture. You can give Ghana, Nigerians, and Ndebele Shonas hating each other. Racism exists. In the West, better yourself. You come in here, you think you talk about they are racist, they are this, become a second citizen. Better yourself. Grab the things that the services that they offer you. Go and study. Do what they are doing. Do better than what they are doing. Just don't play the race card. Let them be. It's there. It exists. It's how you react to it. If you dance to it, you'll be a second-class citizen. But if you take advantage of that, you'll be better, even better than those you call racist. So don't play the race card because it's something that has been happening for years. And that's why we're saying we have to evolve. Because before, we were all back there. We're coming from caves. People are living in caves, walking naked, not getting dressed. There are still cultures who stick to that. But things are changing. Everything changes. So if you come to the West and you start dancing to the race card, you stay where you are. Come in here, dance to their tune, but use their services. Better yourself. Better your siblings. Don't play the race card. And this is the problem. Now people can't joke, can't laugh because it's going to be called racist. They can't do whatever because racist, like I'm saying to you, I'm not endorsing I'm not condoning racism. It's there. But it's how you react to it. Do what they can do, what they do. Go and do it. Show them you are better. You can do even better than that. There are services here. Jump for it. Some people wait. Okay, for example, some people say if you wait in the NHS and you want to be sponsored, and people come to you and they don't they won't sponsor you, but if their own English people come, they sponsor their English people. Okay, you are working, put a little bit money out, do the course yourself, pay it for yourself. Just go in there, do better, because here the opportunities are there. Back home, we don't have a lot of opportunities. So you come into this country, the opportunities are there. Do whatever you can to get there at the top. Do it. And stop just taking the race card to hold you. That they are racist, they are this. You are dancing into the racism card. Do better. Full stop.
Cameron, you can take the remaining minute.
I would have loved to answer.
Okay, Vitaly. Okay, I love Vibe. Vibe, go ahead.
Okay. Jane, first of all, when people come here to talk, you don't know who they are, and people don't just portray who they are. In terms of developing myself, you don't know who I am. You don't know the kind of job I do for NHS. I just come on the line of talking and the way we see our parents. I'm not talking about race. I originally grew up in Italy. I'm half Italian. Do you understand me? So when you talk about race and everything, I will teach you about race because you don't know anything about race. So when you're talking about empowering yourself in order to grow over a lot of things in this country, don't talk to everyone about how they can overcome racism in this country. My opinion is personal, and being personal is like a disclaimer to everything that we say here. We say what we see, and we say it based on how we feel about that. It might be wrong, it might be right, but do not come and talk to people like they don't know or they are doing menial jobs. You need to find a bigger one. I believe that if we bring our cards, you are not better qualified than me. But I am talking about a personal thing that has happened where we investigated and we saw what was going on. And it happens to a lot of parents. And it happens to a lot of we Africans where we do not see where it's coming and we just put our parents wherever we want to put them. That's where I'm coming from. So when you talk about racism, coming back to that racism, in this country, I'm not going to say yeah, I'm not going to say no, but I've faced it in my life. And it has made me stronger. But what I am advising based on personal opinion is for us to consider where we put our parents. If we think that being in this country to go and keep your parents where someone will be banging their head, starving them, find another alternative if you can. But I'm saying that based on what I've seen. So do not come here and talk to people like they don't know their right from their left. Thank you very much.
Can I go next?
Okay, go ahead. Oh, hold on, please. Before you go, let's allow the new person have his take. Please, where is the noise coming from? Is it from Andy? Andy,
Yes.
is the noise coming from your side?
Is it the TV sound?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's distracting.
Okay, sorry, my daughter is watching cartoon. Yeah, let me pause
Okay,
it. Oh,
maybe you
I didn't
can.
know I was muted.
Do you want to speak now or what? What is it called? Hope. Are you there, Hope?
You want me to speak?
I wanted you to speak. It seems like you're busy.
Okay,
a little bit.
let me take it. No, I'll take it from there. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Oga Kenneth, for hosting this live. In fact, I think people are all over the place. I don't know. Can you throw me a bit of light so that I can jump in? Because I've been listening.
Topic
People are talking
generally,
yeah.
but it's just that people are still, they are still deviating from the topic. They still
Because I like sticking to context, and topic. I
yeah,
don't,
they add other things, to the context, The topic is all about what is it? They say, what do men struggle with in a relationship? So from there, we touched the issue of, insecurity, people not, not standing by, themselves, looking forward to a woman, and then when the woman is more richer, and then the insecurity involved, things like that.
I can tell you, but how about maybe 2 or 3 persons speak and then probably you can get a flow of what we are discussing and know where to come in.
No, I'm just giving a little clue of that. But I'm just trying to elaborate on why and how people deviated, why they moved from normal topic to the other.
I've got it now. Okay, I think that's a very interesting topic. I got in when Cameron spoke. Some other persons, my sister was, talking about the racism card, and my brother just came in. Now, one thing in life we should know is that, look, no matter where you find yourself in life, a lot is expected from you. Now, there's what is called intrinsic value. Right? Intrinsic value refers to that inherent worth or value that that something has in itself, independently, whether whether external factors comes in, whether consequences comes in. This concept is something that will help you to stand anywhere in the world, no matter where you find yourself. There's an adage from where I come from that it is easy for you to spot out a well-behaved child from the crowd. Over time, you'll be able to know that this speaking then train and well. You know, understand? So sometimes when we come abroad, we tend to blend into the system. Some of us will jettison where we're coming from. We jettison our cultural values. We jettison everything that has to do with us. We get ourselves in a vicious circle whereby sometimes we try to say that, look, I think X and Y is happening to me because these people don't like me. Now, let me say something here. For every woman born on the surface of the earth, we have what is called unconscious bias. We all have it here. That's the truth. You can't run away from it. Ekene will say it's yes. He will say it that way. Whether you like it or yes, he always put it that, and it cracks me up. And that's the truth. We always have what is called unconscious bias. Even those of us who are coming from Nigeria, there are parents who can never allow their children to marry from a certain tribe. There are men today, when their daughter brings a man and they ask the man, where are you from? The man says, I'm from X and Y place. You will see the countenance of the man. You will see the demeanor of the man. It totally changes. But listen, there are people who don't find themselves, who don't want to be entangled in that same circumference themselves. No matter where you bring anybody, bring man from Kafanchan, bring man from Casablanca to that parent, you will see them, they will welcome that person. Everything has to do with perception and perspective and mindset. And that is why you see some people, when they come on social media, you see them, they begin to play this tribal card and tribal bigotry and all that. Check where they're coming from. You will know that something is not right. If you have ever found yourself in a circumference where you have different tribes, you've grown up with different children from different places, you've grown up with different tribes, it will be difficult for you, my brother, to say anything about tribe. That is the truth. I grew up, my father was a soldier, I grew up in the barrack. I fraternized with Hausas, Igbo, Calabar, Ijo, Kwale, everything. So you can't expect somebody like me to come up and begin to say, oh, tribe, lockheads, and it doesn't happen. It's not going to happen, because I've seen the other side. My perception and mindset is quite different. I've always said it here. I speak Igbo fluently. I'm not Igbo. I speak Hausa fluently. I'm not Hausa. My wife is Yoruba. I understand Yoruba. I understand Bini. I understand Agbo. I understand Kwale. I understand. So everything is mindset. If my kind of person now, my daughter decides to go and bring one man from Kafancha, I will not frown. I cannot, even as she's growing up, she cannot even hear that tribalistic propensity, coming out from me, because her mindset is already made, because she knows the kind of parent she's coming to, the kind of family she's coming from. So for me, everything boils down to foundation, to upbringing. Because if you find yourself in Kafanchan or in Italy, in Germany and all that, that intrinsic value you have in you, nobody's going to push you around. And that is why I quite agree with my sister when she was saying that, look, sometimes most of us will play victim cards. If you're in a place where you develop yourself to a point, I don't think anybody will take you for granted, even though we know that sometimes it happens here. Even though Igbo amongst themselves, they have that what is called unconscious bias. That's the truth. We saw what played out even with the royal family, where even one of their sons there is even accusing them of unconscious bias and all that. So it's always there. So what I'm going to say here is that, look, in relationship, men struggle in relationship for various reasons. Now, sometimes it often stems up from socialization, from our patterns, from emotional habits, from external pressure that I've just talked about. If you find yourself in a place where people are always talking about tribe, and you're in that circumference, you may tend to begin to think like them if you don't have a strong mindset. So if you understand these challenges, these challenges that we as men, we struggle in, especially in the Western world, the challenges are quite enormous, because now the traditional way of men being providers and protectors, now women are even being providers in the home. If two people lock heads together, one of my brothers said something here that I really like. In the Igbo tradition, there's that culture. I'll repeat that proverb that he made. Akwa akanri kwa kekbe, akekbe akwa akanri. You know, the two hands will be clean. If the right hand washes the left hand, and the left hand also squeezes and washes the right hand, the hand will become clean at the end of the day. So in the Western world, if two people join heads together, the family will live well. But if there's so much pressure on one person, my brother, wahala go dey. This is not Nigeria, where most of our parents will tell our mothers to stay at home, to become full-time housewife. Even for Bodo Igbo, women will not agree because they want to have that financial freedom too. They want to experience that financial independence. They want to contribute, except the woman is not a wise woman. But for me, if you check most of the problems we have in the Western world, sometimes it's the willingness to communicate openly with our spouse.
Yeah, I'll come back to you now. The time has elapsed. Let's give a Vitalian.
Right, thank you so much.
5 minutes. Vitalian, are you there? Vitalian.
Now speak next. After the next person, let me attend to something.
Okay. People, are you there?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Are you going or you want to make a submission?
No, I'm here. I could submit, but I would go backwards a little and then come forward if you don't mind.
So should I go to someone else then?
No. I can go for it. I can talk.
Okay. 5 minutes then.
Okay, awesome. Quick one. Going back to answer some questions quickly. Back to the home and things like that. I think we shouldn't try to judge people who live abroad and who take their parents or family members to care homes and compare their circumstance with our circumstances back home. I said before, Africa back home, we live as a community. If my mom is at home and I'm not at home, my neighbor will look after my mom. My neighbor would be aware that my mom is there. Over here, it's different. You understand? Kids have to work equally as hard. You don't have all this extended family. They live in a lifestyle where it's a man, his wife, and his kids. They don't have room to get parents involved. And even if they do have room to get parents involved, they do not have that given time to spend with their parents. So the best they can do is take them to a home. Maybe the parent lives, for example, 300 kilometers away from the child. Maybe the child lives somewhere where they don't have enough room for the parent to come and live with them. So the circumstances are different. Don't be judgmental. Same thing applies in all relationships. The one rule doesn't fit everyone. It varies from individual to individual. It depends on what you're looking for. My take about the topic here is that a lot of men, including myself, most men are afraid of a strong woman. Most men are afraid of not being a provider. Most men are afraid of not being able to take care of their families. But generally, most men do not want a woman that has a mind of her own. A lot of men cannot cope with that because they feel like it takes away from their masculinity. It makes them lesser than a man. And as much as cultures vary, as much as things vary, but I think accepting that you have a woman and accepting that a woman is a human being is equally as important as being a masculine man. If you ask a lot of women will tell you that they're really into emotionally stable men that can clearly express their emotions, clearly express what they want, clearly show love. These are things that women want as well. From our culture, women just take commands, just go sit down, give me water. There is no room for a man to be emotional. In Africa, don't say Africa, in Sierra Leone, a man crying is a disaster. It means you are less than a man. You should not cry. And we have all these mental problems that people have because they cannot freely share their emotions. They cannot freely show how they feel. And that's what our culture calls for. No harm, no foul. I agree. That's what our culture comes for. But doesn't necessarily mean it's right. No. You as a man, you should be able to say how you feel. You should be able to show how you feel. You should be able to give love and receive love. There's nothing bad about being or wanting more than your ancestors wanted. Doesn't mean what they did was wrong, but evolve as the times evolve. Do more. You don't have to be living like they were living in the 90s when you were in 2024. Change and adapt as your circumstance and your life and your environment and your economy changes. That's all we should do as individuals. That's my take. Thank you.
I don't know if I can just talk, please.
Okay, Hope. Hope, is Hope there? Hope,
Hello, I'm here, sir.
have your 5 minutes. Go ahead. Guys, let's keep our tapping.
All
Let's
right.
power tap and share the live, guys. Follow the host. Power tap and share the live. Go ahead.
All right. It's a little bit difficult to proceed like this because when one has their train of thought, that there may be
Go
time
ahead,
passes.
my brother. Go ahead. You're free.
All right. You see, change is something that happens all the time, as we earlier said. But one thing I always say is this: if change is not for the better, it should not be accepted. That's the truth. A lot of change happen over the years, but if that change is not for the better, it should not be accepted. That is the reason why I urge Africans to always hold on, to always be open to change. But if the change that is coming into your country is not for the better, then it should not be accepted. For example, this law about accepting homosexuality that they were throwing to Africa, I compliment the African leaders that rejected it. It's a change, but it was not accepted. So I don't believe in any kind of change or just because modernization. The world is going forward, but you know that the world is also going crazy and crazy every day. It's losing its mind. A lot of things that we were not heard of before, they are now being heard of now. That's the truth. And I also don't believe that men have it difficult to communicate or don't have a mind of their own. If anything, I would even say it is women that have it difficult to communicate. I've been with women that I ask, what do you want to eat? And they don't even know. But then they fight me for getting something for myself and not getting something for them. Men are more logical and they are more straightforward and they know what they want. And communication is not a problem for men. Men communicate exactly straightforward what they want, but women beat around the bush. But that by the side. I will also say this. A strong, no man has ever seen a woman and say, oh, this woman has $1 million, so I don't like her. It's a turn off for me. That is not true. I said it before. Men empower women every single day. Every of my friends that I know open businesses for their woman. They pick women from the gutter and they raise them. So what do you mean by a man who cannot handle a strong woman? When men are building women to become strong every single day. It doesn't make any sense, that point. My guys take up girls that are nobodies. They don't only empower the women, they also even empower their families too. They empower them. We are looking for our women to be strong and independent so that they can be good helpers to the home, so that they can contribute. So to go on and say that men cannot handle strong women, it's not true. The problem, I will always say it, is the attitude that women bring with that strong and independence. That is the problem. You cannot come in and say good morning to your husband before, then tomorrow, because you are now strong and independent, you cannot greet him anymore. It is the treatment that comes with it. What a woman has is not a problem. It is how she rub it on the face of the man that she's with. That is the truth. That's why I always tell guys, it is better to check very well before you pick a woman. Women nowadays, you will meet them when they have nothing, they will be submissive. But the minute they come abroad, you bring them from Africa, they will change completely. They will change completely. The woman that was soft and feminine before that, she will change completely. The betrayal is from the part of the women. So for you to now say a man cannot handle, no, that is not the point. A man cannot handle a disrespectful woman, but a man can handle a strong and independent woman, because that is what we pray for that she becomes. That is the reason why I know guys, many of my guys that have trained women to school, they meet their woman, she's an illiterate, a nobody, they will train her to school because they want her to be strong and independent. But there is this false narrative that is victimizing men now, that is fighting against masculinity, making it look as though it's an evil or a bad thing for a man to be a man. That is going around now spreading lies. They're saying a man cannot handle a strong woman. A man cannot. That is not true. It is not a crime to be a man. God built us differently and He gave us different capacity in order for us to complement each other. And it is sad to see that so many men are eating into this ideology. And those men, many of them, if you check very well, they are simps. It is their woman that is supporting them. They cannot have a mind of their own. So they go about and try to say things that will please the women's heart, or because they want to gain the women's favor. And I just say it's seriously sad. It's seriously sad. If you're a man out there, you're supporting a woman and you're doing your due diligence, okay, you've done your due diligence. And I say it all the time to men, it is not a crime to be a man. If you are a man and you are supporting your woman, keep doing what you are doing, but demand your due diligence and your due respect for whatsoever you bring to the table.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your submission, guys. If you're just joining, you're welcome. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, Cameron. Guys, if you're just joining, you're welcome. Don't stop tap on your screen and share the live. Guys, don't forget my live goals. Support the O's, guys. If you're just joining, click the plus button, follow the O's so that whenever I come on live, you can always get a notification. Don't forget to support the O's. It's very, very important. Check my live goals. Go through the galaxy. Support my live. It's very, very important. So, Vitalia, are you ready now?
It should be my turn. Sorry.
Okay, Coco.
Okay, let's go to call.
Okay, Coco, 5 minutes.
I just went to take breakfast.
All right, Coco.
Okay, I was just wondering because
Go ahead.
I was actually observing few people's points, especially Jen that talked about civilization. I kept wondering that how can talking about raising of family members and all, how can someone actually pay to take care of their kids and also pay to take care of their parents and call that love, and want to condemn the other aspect? I'm just wondering. My thoughts were just going around. I was just wondering how come what is the love there, and you call that civilization? Okay, down here now, you are talking about that civilization, that we are not civilized, Europeans are civilized and all that. Okay, are they going towards the right? Are they going towards the right direction? Because it's not to move forward that is the problem. It's to move to the right direction. The last time I checked, there's no governmental body or anything that will support want to unite a family who is about to break up or who wants to sign a divorce. But in Africa here, they want to settle you and want to make you take care of your wife. They want to make you take care of. How can a grown man be scared of taking every responsibility of the family, a family that you should be the head? How can you be scared that if your wife did not work something? I don't understand, because these people now, for the Europeans, they program their system in a way that favors the way they are, they are built, they are meant to be naturally. But we don't want to accept the way we are. We don't want to accept. It's not by. So okay, someone will say, can you go back to somewhere like Sierra Leone and change the culture from there? You cannot be in Europe and start being judgmental that their ways is bad. This is not the right way. This is the way it should go. No, because for instance, these are our ancestors. I'm not saying everything is good, although there are barbaric practices. I know these are our ancestors. They have thought about these things far, 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 far beyond the way we are even thinking about them now. Someone will just single-handedly carry his parents to his father and his mother because they are old, simply because they are old, away from the house. They are supposed to be nurtured and put in a care home, and there they will be maltreated and call that love because you have money, you are working. That society wants you to work. That same society wants you to work. That society wants your children to work. That society wants you to separate from your husband. That society do not care if you are together. They just want to make you that you sign that divorce paper and you split from each other and both of you work. And you call that love and you call that civilization. Here in Spain, I'm not lying, I can do video call. Where they sell sweets and biscuits is where they sell dildos and vibrators. The same machine that sells it is the same machine that sells sweets. Okay, if my child of 12 years old, for instance, my daughter of 12 years old wants to have sweet and chewing gum like every other kid, as she goes to press the machine, she sees dildo, she sees a vibrator. What do you think is going to happen to the child? No wonder on the street here, you see 14 years old at the bus stop, train station, everywhere, kissing each other, hugging each other, like it's nothing. But Africa, we do not condone all these things. We condemn them because it's not our ways. What I am saying here is, if we know the right thing, we should do it. I made mention of it before, that there are other tribes, other cultures that come to this Western world that we are. They still stick to their tradition. They still stick to their way of life. They don't even care of you. They don't even want to know how you practice your own. It's only Africans that want to see it as problems. It's not like in Nigeria. Someone says it's not like in Nigeria, whereby no, who says Nigerian own is bad? Who says that? I don't understand. Seriously, I have so many things to talk about, but this is the point I'm just looking at. How can someone just singularly say, okay, I'll pay for someone to take care of my kids and call that love? Even it's the government that is taking care of their kids, that is even looking after their own kids. You don't even have a good access to your child. Your father, because he's 85 or because he's not 90, you took him to care home where they take care of him and maltreat him, and you say it's civilization.
Thank you, my brother.
Name one thing that. All right, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Matt, are you there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm just trying to understand what the topic is. So
No, brother, you'll be at the comment section to get that. Please, guys, I want to inform you, please. If you're here and you don't really understand what we are discussing here, take your time, be at the comment section, listen to what people are saying, so that when you send a request, you have a preview and you can be able to, communicate and fight with what people are saying. Don't just send requests.
Sorry,
Okay,
can you
please.
consider bringing a lady up?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The ladies are not sending requests, so I can't force them. I guess they are not ready to vibe today. Maybe they are scared. I don't know. They are scared today.
All right, let me have my 5 minutes. Cameron, I might give you 2 minutes. I might give you 2 minutes from my 5 minutes.
Ladies are scared today. They are scared. They don't have power. They are scared.
Okay.
Hold on 1 minute. Let me see. There's something I want to confirm first. And let me confirm if the person is really... Because I saw this profile yesterday, and okay, she is a lady, and it's a mixture of male and female uses, so I can't really project who the person is. But can you speak? Let's hear a little bit from you, the new person. The new person is just coming. Can you speak? Let's hear a little bit from you.
Greet her, let her respond.
I see. Are you there? Lisa.
Oh, why am I here?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm speaking to you.
How did I get on here?
This is it. She's not ready.
Automatically bring people up?
Please, let's be respectful, please, and let's behave. We're not babies here, we're adults. If you're sending a request, please, let's be respectful.
She has been very active for a very long time.
She has been active, but if we have people who are active on comment section, but to speak, it's a problem.
Maybe because she's
even in school, it's always like that too. We have some good mathematicians, they can solve, they can do, but to come up, some of them are either shy or this thing. If you have any female here, send a request so that we can vibe, because we have enough male. If you have any female, send a request so that we can balance it up. And if they are scared of coming up, then let the men continue.
If you want them to come up, drop me.
I can't drop you when they don't send. Can I go? If they don't send requests, then let them stay at the comment section. That's fine.
You've spoken now. Camera have not spoken.
Nobody is talking. Why did people say you should talk now? You're on my case.
Hold on, guys. You guys should take it easy, please.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on, guys. Take it easy.
Ekene is trying to bring
talking
some
at this time. Nobody jumped on you.
Females up.
You're not following what's happening. We are giving Ekene some time to bring some people up before we continue.
So I'm just gonna ignore you.
When they come, let them chill now. Let them just chill for a minute or two.
I don't think we are afraid to come up. Right.
So what is not the problem?
I keep typing. What's the topic? Nobody's answering me. But because from the few persons I've listened to, they're not even saying anything relating. Like some are just, saying which I want to believe. They're not saying whatever it is that passes the topic. So please, what's the topic?
My dear, how about you just feel for maybe let two persons speak.
That's why I wanted to be at the comments, But for the few persons I've listened, I can't even understand. Like, they're not. I don't think they're speaking.
The topic is what are men struggling with in a relationship, and of course we have discussed this for over 4 hours now. So we have dived into many areas, and what we are discussing now is exactly where we are.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, and that man can be man or woman. It's not necessarily men.
Maybe I'm going to speak next. Cameron will speak, and then you speak so that you can probably get a flow of where we are and take your side.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you. Let me say this. First of all, I honestly want to appreciate that that we are all here. And one of the benefits of us coming on social media platforms like this is maybe to test what we think we know and see if it is justifiable, if it is reasonable. We accept the fact that people have families are different, people are different, orientations are different. Just like Andy said, when Andy came up, he tried not to take, it was not neither here nor there, but he did something very, very, for me, I find very intelligent. He tried to make us to understand that people can think the way they think because of their how they were raised, what I would call their idiosyncrasy. They are very orthodox, traditional, their biased mind with which they grew up from or they grew up with. And as such, it will be very difficult for you to take that away from them. That is quite understandable. However, when we come on social platforms like this, we listen to people, we learn, and then we begin to, like they say, you stand upon what you know to learn another. If you don't know something, if someone is telling you something, you will not quiz it. It's when you know that, I know this thing to be black, and someone comes and tell you it is actually blue, and then you question and say, I thought it was black. How is it not black? Why am I saying this? I am at peace with myself that the sentiment I share, a lot of men share it. And I will go with it and say, I think I'm not totally off. You understand? I'm very okay with Hope's sentiment, Coco's sentiment, Cameron's sentiment, but I'm finding it very difficult to relate with people's own argument. And I think that is what has stretched us this long to where we are today. Because I still find it very difficult to understand that Africans, it kept on using the word, we don't want to evolve. And we have repeatedly come to question why the need to evolve, and for the Western life, has it been meaningful? Is it really taking us anywhere? And I find it very difficult to understand how meaningful it is for us to take it that we are growing into the culture where at a later end, our parents are going to be left at the mercy of somebody who genuinely do not love and care for them, but just for the purpose of the monetary gain. I do not understand my parents who have bestowed so much labor for me, that at the end, in their old age, when I'm supposed to be there for them, I'm going to now relegate them to one care home, and I make sense of it. And I'm here making the argument, and I'm making sense of it that it is justifiable, it is okay for me to do so. I cannot come to terms with that. Also, I do not understand that there are no more gender roles in a home. That a man does not know his place in a home. That a man and a woman, it's okay. I'm not saying it's not okay for you maybe for a man to cook if you happen to want to cook if your wife is not around. But I don't understand traditionally How me as a man do not understand that my place in this family is when I do this and do this and do that. And my wife does not understand that her place in the family is when she do this and does that. That we're going to roll into a family where everyone is busy working, everyone is suiting whatever suits you, you do. Which one that does not suit you, you don't do. I'm also going to find it difficult how you don't understand, for those of us who have westernized ourselves and have appreciated and have welcomed the Western culture, that the reason why people are working their, why both men and women are working their ass out, everybody have this individualistic mind that I'm working for myself, is not for the sole purpose of really enriching the family, but that people share this selfish interest in the Western world, that they are sure that at any moment, most likely, this marriage might break. And for that purpose, they are working their ass out to save enough for themselves. Even yes, they are contributing for the family. I'm not negating that fact that yes, in the Western world, you need both the man and the woman to work so as for them to be able to meet up with their needs. True. But a large percentage of them are also working because they need to be financially independent, such that if tomorrow they choose to be a single mother, they don't have the man to cry to. And I find it very difficult why some of us will not come to terms with these thoughts. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your submission. People, is it people? Okay.
It should be me. He spoke already.
Okay, come on.
Let me try and steer it back to the topic.
Still on the topic now. It's as if we are going back to
the topic.
Yeah, we're still going back to the topic.
Let me try and see if I can steer it back to the topic. So the topic is, what do men struggle with in relationship?
Yes, that's the first this thing. But it seems like this person said they've deviated from that to how the parental, system in what is it called in the Western world compared to what is it called in Africa. Remember how people are being treated, at their old age or something like that.
That topic will hurt a lot of people's emotion because the parenting system in Europe is not something I want to dive into. It will hurt a lot of people. So we better not go there because we'll do that by referencing a lot of data. And I like to do that, and a lot of people will not like the result. So it will hurt people. If people want to have the conversation, okay, but for me, I would suggest we run away from such conversation.
Let's stick with the what is it called there? That's the topic there. Why do men struggle?
Okay, what do men struggle with, right?
Yeah, what do men struggle with in a relationship?
Yeah, so, and I think for women, the context of men
also. It can't be women also. Let's say stroke.
Okay.
All right.
So because I don't represent every man, so I will speak from a point of what I struggle with versus what I have read online that people struggle with. So I'll say this: a lot of men struggle with leadership in their relationships, and there are too many things, but I will speak to leadership and leave it there. I think a lot of men have issues leading their women in their relationship. But let me not say leading their women before some people get triggered. Leading their household. Let me put it that way. Because again, if we go to context of what relationship, let me limit it to marriage. What marriage should be. It should be an institution, a type of relationship where it's a union of two persons acknowledged, but where there is a hierarchy. So I think a lot of times there is this problem of leadership, and this leadership comes from different angles. And one of the things I've noticed lately is the fact that some men who are not better leaders are trying to lead women who can lead better than them, which might sound ironic again. But again, it begs the question of why would you even marry somebody that is a better leader compared to you, whom you will struggle to lead? Again, I will still swap it to the women's side. Why would you marry a man knowing there is an institution that has a definition of who the leader is, and then, sub-leader, and the hierarchy goes down to the last child? So now, if you find yourself as a woman that you're a better leader or a good leader, why would you marry a man that you can do better than? So I think leadership is one thing men that have, borderline between their legs struggle with. And it's deeper, right? It's deeper than how I just mentioned it. But a lot of homes I see, that are broken, it comes from a part of, people not organizing their homes very well, which boils down to the leadership I was talking about. And before I summarize here, let me point out something that has been said repeatedly, which I will still align it to this leadership thing I'm talking. So a lot of times I hear people say men are scared of women who have their own mind. I'm referencing people. He said that here. And then he further said most men are scared of women who, have their own mind and are independent. So I have looked up that a lot of times, and I noticed that a lot of times it's not that most men do. In fact, some men do. But some men that do also don't do because they dictate success on the side of the woman. It's just the energy that comes with, success that people are sometimes scared of. An average person is scared of a toxic person. An average person is scared of an arrogant person. An average person is scared of, somebody who doesn't listen. And funny enough, these are some of the dangers that comes with, riches and education. A highly educated person, sometimes they are, often very arrogant, very autocratic. And when I say highly educated, I'm trying not to make it a woman thing, because you can equally find these traits in men. And a highly rich person that is independent, most times they are arrogant also, or sometimes they are arrogant. And it's not just in women, it's equally in men. So my point is, leadership is one thing I believe a lot of men struggle with in their relationships. Some men are not good leaders, and some women are better leaders in their relationship, but because the man wants to lead, they keep having clashes. Some other times, the men are better leaders, but they end up with individuals who are not better followers. So they keep having clashes also. I'll miss my mic and leave it there so I don't speak on other things that people might want to touch.
If it's okay, can I comment on what you said, Ekene?
Feel free, brother. Go on before he comes back.
All right, I just want to support what you said just now, and I think you are very correct about your last point. You see, men, when they do things, they don't flex it on the woman. You will not see a man come on the internet and say, I'm the one that paid the bill, I'm the one that do that, I'm the one that do this. A man will just do those things and keep quiet because he knows it's his duty to the family. But if a woman is rich or has a job or better job or whatever, everybody in the neighborhood will hear about it. That's the truth. Ask yourself this question, everybody in this chat right now. How many times have you ever heard a man say, I'm an independent man? No. Independent of who? He sees it as a partnership. But if a woman has money, all of a sudden, she is an independent woman. Independent of what? We are all here as a partner, but yet when you get your own, you are an independent woman. You are a boss babe. This is the problem that we talk about. If a woman gets money, all of a sudden she calls herself all these funny names, especially in the African community. But you will never see a man come around and say, he's a boss this, he's a boss that. Women, your attitude with finance is the problem, not the finance itself. It is the behavior. You all of a sudden become what men don't want, which is masculine. A woman is ought to be feminine, not masculine, because a man does not want another man. You understand? If a man pay bill, he will not come out on the internet and start shouting. His time was remaining a few minutes, so he told me to use it to comment on what he said. So I'll just leave the floor for someone else.
Okay, my sister, what's her name? Tumi. Is Tumi there? Tumi.
Bro, I'm gonna drop now. I'll come back later, okay?
Okay, Tumi is not here. Is Andy there? Andy, do you still want to touch on it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I think a lot of people have spoken very well, regarding what men struggle, especially in the Western world. I know in Africa, when you look at the traditional concept where a man is the provider and the protector, we tend not to have so many issues like that. But things are evolving. Let's not deceive ourselves. And like my brother said, the issue is not with the finance; it's with the way the finance has gotten into the head of so many people, and it has resulted in the breakage of the relationship or the marriage.
Exactly.
I always say this. Listen, a woman with a PhD, with a source of humility, is a game changer. That's the truth. There are many women who even earn more than their. I've seen a woman. She's a PhD. She was one of my lecturers when I was doing my masters. Do you know I got to find out that the husband was, a professional plumber. I'm in plumber. But you need to see the way this woman carries herself with respect and all that. She's always talking about her family. You will know that this woman is family oriented. She's got 2 boys, only 2 boys. But you see the way she talks to them, in the course, the way you will know a woman who has family values. There's no time that she will lecture that she will not make reference to 1 or 2 things. You will know. You will see it oozes around her, the way she carries herself. But some of us sometimes when we are financially empowered, it begins to get to our head. We heard stories when people come abroad and because they begin to get financial power, they begin to misbehave. Let me tell you one story that this TikTok, what would they hear for this TikTok? Sometimes I will just sit down and say, God, is this the way our world has turned into? Now, I was in one particular life. I was on the FYP and it was all ladies. Now, they were saying something. The lady was complaining bitterly. She has 2 children, how the husband was maltreating her, blah, blah, blah. She decided to find her way, left the 2 children for the man and came abroad, came to Europe. And she said, she's been planning to take the children, that she's been monitoring the children, blah, blah, blah. They're not living well, blah, blah, blah. She hears now that the man will go and keep the children in the mother's house. Then the children will go to the sister's house and all that. So a group of ladies there, they started giving this woman the kind of advice that when you hear, your ear will tingle. One of them said to her, look, let me show you the trick that I use. I have 4 children. I left them in Nigeria with my husband. And then I came to Europe. And then he said, here now women get power now. Here women, listen to the analogy. You will be intrigued. He said, here now women get power now. So I finally deceived the man. I finally, said, I'm going to make papers with you. I'm going to make papers for you so that you bring the children over, so that you spend the holiday and all that. The man said, I think the man was naive, fell into the trap, and then brought the children over to Europe. So one day the woman woke up and told the man that the man has to leave his house. The man said, for what? Why? He said, you have to leave. That you finally brought the children here, you have to go. And the man said, I'm not going to go anywhere. He started threatening the man and all that. Bottom line, she fired him for divorce. He said she fired him, from what she said there, that she fired him for divorce and blah, blah, blah. That she is recommending that same pathway. She's recommending that same pathway for that woman to follow. And a lot of them, they were like, yes. And I threw a comment there. I said, madam, clap for yourself. You can see the way people come on social media to brainwash people. It's possible that this woman doesn't even have that mindset. But you will know, you will be shocked now that woman will sit down and begin to sit down and begin to say, okay, what that woman said to me on social media is true. Let me devise that. Let me come up with that strategy to bring this man here. When he comes here, I kick him out and take my children. And you've forgotten that it's not your children alone. It's for the both of you. For you to even have the guts to leave Nigeria and leave your 2 children with your husband and come to Europe tells a lot about you, who you are. Yeah. It tells a lot about you. If you really love your children, you'll be there for them. There are ways to even cooperate. So why did you leave them and come to Europe? You've spent some years now. You want to. If you're a good mother, you stay there. You stay there. Not planning a way to bring the man here, then you kick him out. You collect your children. They're saying, women have powers here. Once you do this, you do this. It's too bad. That mindset is bad. And that is what is breaking a lot of men. And that is why you see the traditional setting back in the days. When there's a break in relationship, they say the children should go to the man. The reason why they do that is because they feel that the man has more authority to raise his children. And even though we know that, look, some of it has its downside, because when the man finally remarries, if he gets married to a woman who doesn't love the children are going to suffer at the end of the day. But the children should be in the care of the father. The mother is always free to come and see them, even if they live within the same village. The woman also has freedom to go and remarry. So for me, we should be very, very careful what we say on social media to people, because we're here to educate people and we're here also to learn. We're here also to pass information. Let us not pass information to people that will, at the end of the day, will break them, will break their relationship, will break their marriage. I rest my case. Thank you.
Whose turn is it now?
Is it my turn? Hello? Is it my turn?
Ekene, it's like the host is frozen.
I think King should speak. King has been here for some time now.
Okay, right.
Good morning.
I'm gonna make something clear. There's two things, right? Where is it, Ekene? Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, King, you can.
Is a man is in charge of it, meaning that he has a lot of money. He's very strong sexually. Okay, he's able to, and he's a good man who's got a lot of morals, grew up with a lot of morals. He will be able to manage this house, depending on if he's got a good wife too. Okay, now if the woman has got control of this thing, we all know where he's going, right? Okay, we know where he's going. So the problem that men are having is this, yeah? A man needs to have money, okay? And now, a man in Europe, right, comes over here, and the woman in Europe comes over here. They want to have money, right? They both want to have money. They wanna achieve something, okay? Now, whoever amongst these two people, right? Because obviously the man's money in Europe is not enough to hold a family. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, the woman's money is not enough to hold a family, right? These two people have to put in 100% between themselves, okay? And having said that, okay, you as a man require a woman who is highly educated. And I mentioned there's a guy who said something about PhD, right? And I'm not saying PhD from Nigeria, right? Because a lot of these people it's about arrogance. A lot of women that are PhD holders in England or America and things like that, yeah, it's not about arrogance for them. It's about knowledge and being able to present themselves in the best intellectual manner, right? So if you find such a women like that who are intellectually, deep, right? They understand better, they analyze better, they integrate better, they calculate better, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have some sort of fish brain going on around them. Okay, now they understand what the man needs. A man who's here in UK, for example, who's earning minimum wage, as we all know, average people here in UK, that's what they earn, and the woman who's earning the same. So the man is no longer being the man that you want him to be in Africa. For those in the comment section, it's not possible for that man to be that man anymore. The system has already subdued the man. Why did the system subdue the man? The woman said she wants to go to work and earn money too, because the man is the only one who's been going to work. So since the woman wants to go to work and earn money and become educated and things like that, we allow the woman to go. So what are women doing with that work and the education that they're going to get? That's the problem. What are they doing with it? Are they deciding that, you know what, I'm gonna go and make money and I'm not gonna contribute in this family 100%? Okay, so let's not say 50-50, because we say 50-50, people will start getting mad. So 100% from each. Right? So this woman is not contributing. Guess why she's not contributing? She's not contributing because she's saving money for when she's going to leave the man. right? Or if the man is the one who's doing this thing and is not contributing, she is saving money to leave the woman. But necessarily, most of the time, you find that because of the fact that 85% of divorces are instigated by women, so we're going to go towards the women, right? Okay, so it doesn't look like we are trying to now talk about women and say, hey, women are bad, women. No, I'm trying to give you facts right here. Women now who are not educated, who has had half education, like becoming all of a sudden a nurse from nowhere. I'm just using that because that's the first profession that women tend to hide. Women who are not educated tend to hide themselves in and claim education and claim professional, but then at the end of the day, they're acting timid things. It's timid brain mindset that they're having, which is the reason why they're sitting in a house, sitting in a country like England, where a man is finding it difficult to provide for his family because he cannot afford to provide for this family as a whole by himself. And you're asking the man to be a man. Where is your education? Zero education that you're using here. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, you know what I'm saying? If you are really truly in this marriage with the man and you want to give the man power, because you're the one who's going to give this man this power. The man is not going to snatch it from you or aggressively take it from you. You're going to have to give this man authority over this house. You understand? So some men are not able to do that because of this challenge that we face. And hence the men come to England, they fail in their family. So hence we are requiring that women, you know what I'm saying, begin to revisit this thing about be a man. There's no be a man in England. The man is going to come out here and still help you in the house in raising the children because you have no household maids and the rest of them to do it for you guys. So women have to start understanding that this is where it lies. And stop listening about be a man. Stop telling a man be a man when the system has stripped him of being a man. Stop it. It's just rubbish. Stop doing that nonsense manipulation. The man can't be a man until you help him and be a man. That's why you are a helpmate. You understand? So please start helping the men. So the sex and money is what breaks family. And sex and money is very important for a man because men is about sex and men is about money. You understand what I'm saying? So please, ladies, yeah, I hope you guys hear this in a good light and not, see my voice as intimidation. I just wanted to let you guys know the truth here.
Okay, thank you so much for your submission. Michelle, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm giving you 5 minutes. Have your take. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I really do not know what the topic is all about, but I heard few people speak. So what I'm going to say is...
The topic it's what do men struggle in a relationship?
Okay.
The struggles a man, go through a phase in a relationship.
Okay.
So it goes two ways though. It can also be a woman. All depends on the circumstances, though. So you pick it in your own ways. Maybe you can also speak on the man, and you can also speak on the woman also. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna start by saying because the few people I've heard speak, they were going women. So I think with that part, they should try and rephrase because it's not all women. And it's not all men. So they should start saying women, all women. Women should know. Someone was saying there about a child needs to be with the father. But for me, I believe a child needs to be with both parents. A child needs to be raised by both parents.
Please allow her to speak. She has her time. Go ahead.
And also, most men in a relationship, they lack the fact that women does not respect them. And also, women at the other hand, they more like they date a man. And for a woman, we believe we should be with a man, not a boy, or not a man who wants to be a woman. as a woman, I don't want to do everything in the house. I don't want to be the one who works, who provide, who does everything. And we have some men out there, they've lost their part of being responsible. They don't even know how to take care of a home. So they leave everything for some women to do. And also they are men or women at the other hand, they don't respect their man. A man and a woman could be in a relationship from the start. Everything is okay, everything is fine, and eventually they have a child. Some of these women, they channel the love only on that child. They don't see they are neglecting the man. So the man could go to work and come back, and let me say the woman is in the house and the man will be, there's no food, and the woman will go, oh, I'm tired, I've been taking care of baby every day. And let's go back to the sex parts. The woman always like, I'm tired. So I feel women should do more better in that part, instead of like pushing, these things push men out, to be honest, from my own point of view. And also, some men are not supportive, because when a woman can be working and the woman can still run the house as well, where we have some men who works and they don't want to support the woman in anything, not even the astros and stuff like that. And we have some of the men who say, I am the man, I don't have to do this, I am the man, I'm the provider. And also we have some women as well who go by saying, I am the provider, so you have to do this, you have to do that. It's just complicated at the moment that we're living in a crazy world where people do not give a shit about what happened in how people feel in the relationship. Is like we don't see each other. We just do whatever we want to do. So to keep our own self happy, we don't care about who we hurt in that process. Yeah, that's it for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we, what is it called?
I think.
Can I correct an impression here? Because I think she started with that opening statement. Now, my sister, I think sometimes when people talk, just listen carefully in between the lines and try to get what they're saying. Okay. Nobody said here. I said the traditional role. When I was talking, I said the reason why back in the days they allow children to go to their father, because they want them to be, they want the father, they want that father nurturing an authority. They want a man figure, a father figure.
Okay.
The woman can still come and see the children. There's no problem about it. And it's also a way of even allowing the woman again to remarry if she wants to. Okay. So that's the place. So don't just pick on one particular thing. Children need both parents. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And that is why co-parenting is very, very important where there's separation. I hear the mic.
I came in where you were talking about should be, so I didn't hear the traditional. That's why I said I didn't hear it from the start, but what I heard, that's why I'm sorry about that point. Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
All right, the next person.
Yeah, I think it's me.
Can I go?
No, the lady. What's her name? Go ahead, my sister. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the topic is what do men struggle with in a relationship? So I'll start by saying that there are varieties of challenges that men go through in a relationship. And some of these challenges are things that society normally would pay deaf ears to or being blind to. But these things, they are real and they exist, right? So, and these challenges, some of them are rooted in societal expectations or communication issues or, let's say, personal insecurities, right? So I will start by listing few of these challenges that I think that men go through in a relationship. And one of them would be expressing emotions. It's like men have been conditioned into suppressing their emotions. Right. I was on a platform this morning and I had a man saying, why are women everywhere keep saying their husbands did this, their men did that, and you have just few or little men saying similar thing? It's because the society has made us to believe that as a man, you should be able to suppress your emotions. Leading, and sometimes it leads to difficulty in being vulnerable, and difficulties in being open, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. And it causes a misunderstanding or emotional distance in your relationship. So the next one will be the pressure to provide. Now, whether we like it or not, men go through this struggle, the pressure to provide. As the family increases, we're expected to support. But in some cases, they don't get that full support. See, I would say that it's very rare for us to see a man who would openly ask for support and not being laughed at, right? But this is a fact. This is what majority of men go through, and they need our support, either as wives or close friends, right? But they do need our support. So the next one will be, I would say, fear of commitment. So this is the part that most men would want to hear. But yes, fear of commitment. Men fear to commit. Like they feel when being committed, they are letting go of their freedom, as a man. Men, I don't think there's any being that will like freedom like men, you see. So they fear to be committed because they still want that freedom. The fear of losing their freedom. I think that's why they fear commitment. Yeah. The next one will be sexual performance and intimacy. You hardly hear men talk about these things, but seriously, they go through this. Concerns about sexual performance, the frequency or the quality of a physical intimacy, all this can cause stress, right? And when they are stressed, what does it lead to? Leading to feeling of insecurity, dissatisfaction in a relationship. The next one will be sometimes how they handle conflict. There are a few cases, this will be kind of a personal experience, where I, as the woman, I think there are issues that need to be resolved. I want to talk about it. I want to sort it out, right? But the man would say, sometimes act like everything is all right. I'm like, are you trying to pretend like there's nothing going on? There's something going on. I've told you, we need to talk about this. So sometimes they try to pretend like there's nothing going on, everything is all right. I think one of the reasons they sometimes do this, they avoid confrontations. They try to avoid, in their own way, they try to avoid confrontations, or sometimes they can just kind of shut down emotionally. All right. So by trying to avoid confrontation, they kind of build.
Don't send requests here, please. Your family here, don't just send a request. I'm not playing here. Go ahead.
So by avoiding confrontation, they kind of build it to some extent that it can escalate, causing serious issues or preventing healthy dialogue. So that is why it is best that when your woman wants to talk about something, sit down and discuss it. There's no need trying to avoid it, because when a lady comes up with an issue, no matter how you try to avoid it, it's building up. One day you have to sit down and talk about it, and let's pray that at that point in time it has not escalated, right? So these are some of the few things that I think that men go through. Okay, I've talked about handling conflict. Yeah, these are the few things that some of them go through. But I will still hammer on men talking about support, needing support. right? Our men, they need support 100%, seriously. They need it. But for every time a man come up to say, I need support, they have been laughed at. And I wonder why. They are humans too. They have serious pressure on them, and they need our support. So these are the few things I feel that men struggle with in a relationship. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your submission. Benny, are you there? Benny.
Can Callisto or Branson go before I go? I'm just doing something.
All right, Branson, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
Branson, are you there?
Hello, brother, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Please be audible, please.
Hello,
5
hello.
minutes.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Let's hear your submission.
We can hear you.
Okay, we can.
Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Ultimately, I wanted to talk about, for men, the reason why men struggle within a relationship. You know, this is definitely there's a lot of dynamics involved in that. One of the things that men struggle, especially in the Western world, as an African man, we struggle is with power sharing. You know, power conflicts within the relationship. You know, women which are here, they don't want to cooperate with their men or compromise with their men. Not even talking about submission, you know. There can't be two drivers in the driver's seat. So one has to follow and take the leadership of the other, you know. But one thing, but as well as that, going to what the sister was saying before, when men speak up and we voice our opinions and we try to say what's on our mind and take off the weight of our chest, sometimes women reject this. They don't like to hear our point of view sometimes, you know. But this definitely affects men because we're carrying a lot of baggage on our weights. And that's not good because that baggage will spill off some way or somehow, sometimes in the in a wrong way. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, brother.
Okay, thank you so much for your submission. Callistos, are you there? Callistos.
Can I use 1 minute of his own?
Okay, complete it then. He has 3 minutes. Can complete it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was saying to you that, listen, I mean, like, hang on a second. We are supposed to love each other, isn't it? Right? I mean, isn't that what it is? I mean, why is it that it's so hard, for women, okay, that I'm going to forget about women that live in Africa, okay? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about women that live here. Did you all just listen to Kube? Did you listen to her? I mean, if you listen to her and you truly want to have a relationship, a peaceful relationship, a loving relationship, you want happiness. You're claiming that you love the man, but you're not listening to what Kube said. She's a woman. She said the stuff that you should be doing. Man, come on. You see, the problem that you women have is this, You are the ones, that go to church to pray, right? And say, God, give me woman, God, give me husband, give me husband, give me husband. For those that pray, the Christians, give me husband. Men are not the ones going to church to be say, give me wife, give me wife. Men are going there asking for money and for blessings in their business. Come on, please, guys. I mean, let's be real here. Okay? The men are the ones that are going to approach you. You can't come and approach me for marriage. You can't. I'm the one who's going to approach you, and I can have the confidence to say to you from the first day I meet you, now come, babe, I see you. You look so fine. I want to marry you. You look like a marriage material. I can say it to you. You can't say it to me on the first day that you see me. I can say it to you and still marry you. And marry you for real. And I continue and marry you. You can't say it to me. So you really need to listen to the guys that you are hoping that they come to talk to you. You are waiting because you are in a waiting game for this man to come and talk to you. You understand? Don't be deceived. Men will talk to you for sex and bullying because we need to be knocking. That's what men are like. Women are looking for relationship mainly. A man looks for sex, and from sex he gets to relationship. Okay, that's why women want to be in a relationship fast, marriage fast. The way they talk about marriage, if they do that, continue to do like that in marriages and in the West, I'm talking about in the West, that marriage will last. You understand?
Guys, let's keep our happy. Let's keep our happy and share the
Listen
life.
to this thing. A man cannot be a man in the West. He can't be that man provider. Because why? You have decided you want to go to work. So that work is no longer available for that man in that way. You are providing money in this house. The man is providing too, but his own is not enough. Why wouldn't you help your husband? Are you not in love with him? Are you not here for marriage? Are you saving money to leave him tomorrow? You're the one who's saving money, who's not involving her money or his money in that family. And if I say this, some people say, oh, he may be broke. What's wrong with the man being broke? Are you not broke too? Yeah? Are you not broke? And many men have supported women all over the world. Come on, man. And then when a man now start asking for something, you come out, you should be ashamed of you here on this comment section. If you ever call a man broke, you're terrible. You're inhumane. You're disgusting. I'm sorry to use these words. But however, if you're a woman, you should refrain from using such words to put men down.
King.
That's it.
Please, let him finish this thing. Then you speak.
So that's all I'm trying to say here. Stop being on the comment section and talking the broke and all those stuff against men. That thing is like trying to tell a man that you have no dick. Stop it. It's terrible now. You should be grown up enough and have like sort of wisdom to understand that you can't be saying this using such words like that. Okay, everybody's broke. Your father could be broke. You understand? So please, your son could be broke tomorrow.
All right. Okay. Beanie, can you have your 5 minutes now?
Guys, I just want to say, everyone that's on this live, especially women that might be triggered, I'm really working with King. Give me another 6 months and trust me, he will not be speaking like this. So please bear with me. I'm working with him one-on-one. Anyway, how to call it? What I wanted to say... What I wanted to say was basically, I think we need to stop generalizing. And I know some people will come up and say, oh, if it's not addressed to you, it doesn't apply to you. That's not the case. Interpersonality relationship are different for everyone. The combination between me and King will be different between Ikene and Kaliso. So the things that they go through will be completely different. What everyone needs to work on is effectively resolving conflict. And even if the marriage does end, then it doesn't end up being someone being very bitter. Thanks, Heaven's Gate. So I've come to an understanding that relationships are complex. Like there's two different individuals that are together, and both of whom have grew up in a different environment. So they're coming with different challenges. And so when we start like basing it on gender and this and that, we also have to take in account that our environment have changed. Like compared to COVID, there's changes in inflation and all these things that are going around the corner. So I think, when you go and say that if a woman wants to work, she's basically taking the man's role. That's not it. You and your partner needs to sit down and understand, what is this dynamic going to look like once you start working? What is it going to look like if you leave your job? Hey God, why? Why is this guy on this live? Ikene, please don't bring Kong up, please, until I'm gone. So what I was basically saying is that all of these are actually complicated and they're complex. And one second.
Can somebody else speak? Callisto, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening from me. Good evening, everybody. This is a very interesting topic. So at the end of it is saying, what do men struggle in a relationship?
Yeah.
Why didn't, that's it, right? That's the end of it. I don't know, I'm not a man, but I can only talk from what I hear on TikTok, right? Just TikTok.
Yeah,
That's myself.
definitely. You shouldn't. You wouldn't be in a particular place, or you shouldn't be there before you can get an information, because somehow we deal with facts, records. So go ahead.
Okay. I think times are changing, and I don't know, like I always say it, and I'll always say it. If you are in a subculture or in a culture that keeps your marriage, it keeps your relationship working in that culture, because customs, cultures, rights, all these things work in a certain environment. Every environment has a way of working. And when you're in that environment, it works. I'm not saying that character does not cross international borders. That's not what I'm saying. Character crosses international borders, but it helps when you were talking about customs. And I think one thing about being on TikTok, I'm really starting to think about, because it's like how to prepare my own sons to be like, I can't prepare them to be a man, but how to prepare them to deal with women in the future. I can't make a man, but I can help them, like as a mother, how to prepare them to deal with women, because they come from a very cultural, their father is very cultural, custom, he's a man, and he comes from a very, proud culture. But at the same time, they're growing up in an environment where, women have equal rights in stuff. Women go to work, women have money, women have power. So for me, the way I look at this question is, if I'm a mother, and I am a mother and I have 2 sons, how will I be preparing them to deal with women of this age, women who are coming up now, not the women of old, not all those women that everyone is talking about, because we're in that generation, but how do we prepare our sons for the future? And when we really start thinking of it that way, we would maybe come from a great, softer place, because, you can't be like, a man is going to provide completely. I do agree with King in that in the West, unless you are, generational wealth, or you're not going to provide completely. The good thing is he might not be first generation migration. He might be, like my children might be second, third generational migration.
Let's keep on tapping.
They might be able to have a better financial. They might not be going into the system. They might have a different standing, but they're still dealing with women from different places. So I think our generation, there's a change has come, and we should really start trying to think of how we will prepare our children for the change that have come. I believe in old characters and old values, but definitely things have changed. And for all those traditionalists who are going to come for me, keep the tradition where it is. I have nothing against tradition. I come from a tradition, but it works in certain places. Once character can cross international borders, tradition doesn't cross international borders. That's just my view. I'm going to stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your submission. Sweet Banana.
Can I finish after Sweet Banana?
Yeah, after Sweet Banana. Sweet Banana.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Men struggle with so many things. One of the things, finance, a man who does not have his finance in order will struggle in marriage, will struggle in relationship. A man who has not done the work to address unresolved trauma will struggle in relationship. A man who is having trust issues will struggle in relationship. A man who have not self-developed himself and decide to jump into another relationship. A man who does not have his priorities right will struggle in relationship. There are so many things that will struggle in relationship. A man that have a bad decision-making skill, that intentionally uses his hand to pick a bad woman will suffer in relationship. So it is not everything that we have to always attribute to women. Most of the time, this is what the man is suffering. If you are struggling, you are struggling for yourself. You know, it is so sad that nowadays when it is difficult nowadays to have a conversation on social media platform without the conversation turning to gender war. Understand? I really don't know where that is coming from, but at the end of the day, everybody needs to learn how to protect their mental health, you know. And the thing is, if I, Sweet Banana Cake, I decide to go into relationship, I should do the work before going in. You do not learn how to swim in the middle of the sea. Rather, you learn how to swim before you go into the water. Before you decide to go and swim. One of the biggest problems that so many of us we have as men is this: we tend not to place the mirror in front of us to look at ourselves and take accountability for the mistakes that we've made, our shortcomings when it comes to life in general and any relationship. You know, if you know you are a man, you know deep down your heart you are not ready for relationship. Please, don't go into relationship. Don't go into relationship and ruin another man's daughter. And at the end of the day, you blame her for your bad character. You understand? Including me that I'm talking anyhow. You understand? We are not talking about the reason why women struggle. We're talking about the reason why men struggle. So if we are talking about why men struggle, why can't we just stick on men and leave the women? Yes, because I've been on this life for a while. All the things I hear is at the end of the day, we want to drag it to the women. But yeah, it's why men struggle. If you are the head, you are entitled to what you do with your life and you make decision. If you bring a woman into your life that comes and mess up your life, all she care about is your money, probably you didn't do your due diligence to do your vetting right at the first place. Yes, take accountability too. That yes, I started this whole mess up. You know, even if you were right, she came, she was the bad person, but still take accountability for your bad decision-making skill, for you settling for that woman. That is where healing comes from. But nowadays, everybody is wounded and hurt. Even when you read comment section, submission from people, you can easily tell that they're passing through fire. But I just pray, may the peace of the Lord help all of us. For those of us that are still struggling, I pray that we get the help that we need, so that at the end of the day, may God bless everybody. Ekene, I mute myself. You know the way it is.
I know. Okay, the next person. 5 minutes if you're there. Hello, the last man standing. Is it a man or a...
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Bishop? 5 minutes.
Yeah, all right, thank you. I'll make it quick. So, why men struggle? I want to emphasize on what Sweet Banana said. And it's more of decision making. The decision making is actually the foundational part of why men struggle. And that's one of the major reasons that I'm going to, like he said, he rightly said that various reasons. But right now, I think the major reason is the decision making. When going into relationship, men don't take their time to actually do the self-discovery and think about who is right for them. People rush into relationship and they rush out. So that's why I would focus on that part in decision making. And also it swings both ways. If a lady feels like this man is not right for me, and maybe he's showing her and showering her gifts, it clouds her judgment. Or maybe they're doing the ta-ta-ta. It clouds her judgment as well. So it swings both ways. I just feel like majorly it's to the foundation. Everybody got a match, but we just match the wrong people that are not for us. So decision making is the key why men struggle and why we have failed relationship. Even in business, you have to take time to study and see if it's the right business for you. So the struggle of a man is on that point, and I rest my case. I think I make it brief.
All right, thank you so much. Benny.
wanted to also finish that basically, apart from what everyone has said, including Q Bay has highlighted, Sweet Banana, SK, Calypso. I didn't hear the previous speakers before. I think it's also important that we understand that mental health does not discriminate whether you're a woman or a man. And there might be cases where there's financial struggles that led to those mental health challenges. This is something that often when we say, oh, a man is a leader, a man is this, it's almost as if like they're disqualified from feeling a certain way and seeking help. This was a case when I mentioned, you know, sometimes some people need therapy, and people like most African men that were on the panel were like, we don't need therapy. In some cases, you do therapy even back home, whether it's talking to an elder, debriefing about what you're going through, whether it's basically seeking help through, whether it's an imam or a church person, a priest, sorry. So all of this, I think we need to be aware that there are challenges that people experience in a relationship. We might not have anything to do with the partner, but the way the person's dealing with it could basically lead to their relationship struggles, even to a point where it might affect them getting up, going to work. And all of this, if we're focusing on, oh, you need to be the sole provider when the person is struggling with this, when the man is struggling with this, it could basically lead to their self-esteem being lower, and the other challenges that comes with it. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, we have Are You Okay There last week, and that's basically focusing predominantly on just men's mental health, because that often leads to some of the things that we've been seeing, the stats that we've seen, women being unalive by their spouse or ex-partners, all of which has led to basically the struggles that they've gone through and the demands of basically our society on men and what they need to do, and the fact that they can't really express themselves because they need to be strong and they need to be masculine, and they can't talk about the struggles that they're going through. So yeah, that's what I wanted to basically say.
All right, is Coco there? Coco.
Yeah.
All right, have your 5 minutes then. Andy, then go ahead.
So sorry, I was actually busy all this while. I just came back in. I thought maybe you would have dropped me, but I will just say a few things. Now, in this struggle between men and women, you know, I used to say that some people used to ask this question to women.
Guys, let's keep our tapping. Let's keep our tapping and share the life. Go ahead.
What do women bring to the table? That's not the right way to put it. I think what that perspective means is that what impact do you come to create in a man's life, you understand? And women shouldn't feel offended when such question is being thrown to them. They should correct that and maybe correct the statement. What do you bring to the table as a woman, you understand? As in, to what impact do you come to create in the man's life, you know? In this modern day women, ladies, all they do is demand us and such, and no take, keep taking. Even in that marriage, they can continue taking. It's all about them. It's all about women. I don't want to sound too like I'm, you know, on one side, but it is what it is. You know, like me, the last time I just went into a relationship with a girl, like I said it here the other day, and before I know it, it was this person I was saying that I want to get married. We sat down and we talked for hours, and she accepted my plea, and we went on. The next day, what I was hearing, that I should get her pizza. You know, so I was wondering, and the other one too was asking for me to make her. She wants to make her hair in relation. It's not that I cannot afford, but I started wondering. I dropped the both of them. It was on this live where people were saying that they are all red flags, you know. But ordinarily, I went to other lives and I just tabled it, and some people like say I'm broke. I have a poor man mentality. Why should I say I cannot continue? So I'm not man enough. That's people are saying all sort of things, and I start wondering. So with this person that I want to start buying pizza earlier on, what has she got to give me, or what is it? This kind of person I want to run a relationship, or I want to finally get married to? So and it goes on. I just want to talk about that. And people just most women just when they come, they feel threatened. I can just put it that way. When men say men are the head or whatever, something like that, they feel threatened. Like ordinarily you are a man, like you are inferior. You have accepted already that you are inferior. That's why you feel that if a man is in charge or if the man is the head, he's going to dominate or he's going to start commanding you. No. And if you look at it very well, these people are not actually the ones that are married. The women that are happily married don't sound that way. They don't take it that way. I've not seen any woman that is happily married that comes to say, no, I do not support man being the head of the family. I've not seen. It's always the ones that came out of that are divorced, or the ones that are into a bad relationship, or the ones that are single, that will always speak for the women this, women that, as if they are dragging one word within. No. And these men are still actually the men who will make you as a woman. But still, what I'm saying, as a woman, you should always have something to contribute to the man's life. You see, you should always have something to contribute to this man's life, to this man's life. If they say, what do you have to bring to the table? To me, it's not too correct, but what to correct it is what impact have you come to create in the man's life? You understand? So if you can go along with that, you can actually get along with that person that you say you love, and remove that mentality of a woman being enslaved in her own house and all that. Forget about all those. Go and play a role as a woman and live a happy life. That's all I have to say anyway.
Andy, are you there?
So can I use the 19 seconds to say something?
Wait,
15 seconds. Hold on.
Wait.
Bini, wait.
Bini, I need to
Sweet
say
banana,
something.
fire down. Let Sweet Banana take one of my minutes.
Thank you.
My pizza has been insulted here.
Relax. Relax. If person don't get money for pizza, he will say you buy you pizza. You don't know how much you pizza for Nigeria.
Is it by force?
You don't know how much you pizza for Nigeria. What did they talk?
Use chocolate. Chocolate would have made sense.
Pizza for chocolate.
I'm going, Joe. I'm going.
Wait, 1 minute.
Calm down. They want to attack head of home.
Wait.
Make I give Sweet Banana 1 minute.
Just 1 minute. 1 minute. This is just for the men, for the men in the box, please, because I'm struggling with this thing. Yeah. Why do men ask women out for relationship when they know these women have nothing to offer? Can they help me? Seriously,
my brother. If you ask me, now where I go ask?
No, let's be honest. Come, Andy, Coco. No. See, wait. Let me make it clear again.
Should I answer?
Wait, let me make it clear.
Should I answer that question?
Yes, you
will answer that question.
Coco, wait.
No, let me answer that question so you can continue.
You answer and no worry. Wait. You answer it. Let me make it more clear. When you see a woman have nothing to offer, why start a relationship with that woman? I'm not asking dating. No, you are in relationship with a woman that you know have nothing to offer. That's my point. I better answer.
Oh yeah, wait. No, after my 5 minutes. Ekene.
Man, sorry.
Who is saying make I give Coco? Sorry.
Give Coco. Make Coco answer now. Come wait.
Coco.
You see, if we dey go like this, it go be like say we dey.
No be everybody here broke here, my brother.
Okay. If we continue like this, it will be as if we are just, Okay, let me just answer it straight. That woman that you asked that question, I swear that woman has lots to offer, but she does not know herself. That woman they have lot to offer, but they don't know themselves. They don't even know what a man really wants. That's
But
the
why
problem.
date a woman that don't know herself?
The woman actually knows. Sorry, the woman actually has it, but she doesn't know. That's the problem. You can actually force that thing out from that woman to give you what you really require, of her. But if you're on the verge of doing that, she will pick offense and she'll find it offensive. Women now, what they after is how to look good, beautiful, weak, bold, straight, and materialistic things, how to look their shape and all that. How can that woman have that mindset of have that ideology of what you need as a man? How can such woman have that mindset of what this person really wants? She has it, but she does not know how to go about it. But if you tell her this is what you should give me, she'll pick offense. That's what I'm saying. They all have it. Women are beautiful beings. They are all beautiful beings. But materialistic things, ego, you see, ego, unnecessary gra with men is their problem. Nothing more.
Coco, I agree. I understand. Sorry, you
Answer the question too.
Wait, please.
I feel like Coco has attacked me twice. First,
Vinny, wait, please. See, guys, let's be honest. This is the thing. Coco said, these women, they know what they are supposed to do. And it got me thinking, but wait, what happens to critical thinking? What happens to good vetting? You don't vet people before you date them? Don't you see their values and what they bring to the table before you date them? Do you need to use your mouth to tell a responsible, rational woman what she should do in a relationship, a woman that knows what she's supposed to do?
Guys, let's keep part tapping.
This is the thing.
Okay, I want sweetness. Sweet banana, let me ask you. Wait, sorry, I want to ask you now. Should I teach a woman how to give birth and raise those kids and love those kids? Wait now. Should I teach a woman how to cook? Even if every woman that doesn't know how to cook right now can actually learn how to cook. Can I teach a woman how to take care of me?
Thank you.
They know it. They have it. No, they have it. They don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Kong, you know the
most women have it, but they don't know.
Kong, wait. Coco, you see what you just said? Yeah? Some things are natural, right? The thing is this. You still have the right as a man, from a place of decision-making skill. When people don't have the things that you want, why go for them? That is my point. Kong, I beg, if you want to say what you want to say.
All right. First of all, Ekene, before you start my original time, I want to answer the question because this is quite
No. If you want to answer, continue. Right. Go answer and then you continue your this thing.
So first things first. I think it's let me. I don't like looking like I'm supporting the women, but let me just take this one. I think what most men do not know. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I think what some men do not know is, hope you know, women still will choose to decide if they want to be with a man or not. And what most men struggle with is gauging the desire of women. It's not because you ask a woman out, meaning she's interested in you. And when she's not interested in you, if you cannot pick up the signs, that's when you would think she doesn't know what she's doing. But she clearly knows what she's doing. So first things first is that when you try to convince a lady you like her or you want to be with her or you're interested in her, most men now think her behavior would automatically be to suit you. That is a mistake most men are making. And that's a classic mistake you made in that situation, Coco. When you ask a lady out without judging for desire and she comes back to ask you for pizza, you are supposed to decipher where that pizza is coming from. The pizza is not even a problem. It's for you to wonder what will make her ask you for the pizza. See, the game is the game. If you cannot read the game, you will think every woman is a scam. There are women who have their own, who have their bags, who are not even bothered about you. But they will purposely ask you for that pizza. You know why? They want to see you walk away. They want to see you call them trash and lose interest in them because they don't want you in the first place. So when men approach women, most of the times men approach women with the idea of they want to get the woman. But the woman is also playing the game of I don't want you as a man. Or some women will be like, I'm going to make it tough for you as a man. So you have to decide, what do you want? So until you begin to learn how to read between the lines of women, you will know that they are as criminal as they come. Sometimes they want to have that conversation, but they are not in the mood. She's waiting for her friend, but you're asking her out. She's waiting to do something, but you're talking to her. So she goes, okay, you know what, buy me food, because she already knows what is popular amongst men and what men will say. So by the time you already feel disgusted, she can read it in your demeanor. She would maintain steeze and wait for you to continue in that line because she just doesn't want to engage. So at some point, when you said that woman asked you for pizza, even without being around that woman, I already knew the game she was playing. Because if she really wanted to ask you for something, pizza is not what she would ask you for. Pizza is not what she would carry on her mind on a date. If it's a Western woman, pizza is definitely for fun, nothing serious. If it's an African woman, pizza is a test. But if you had said she asked you for something like as big for maybe birthday, human hair, a car, and all, then I would say that is a criminal. But if I were you, I would really buy that pizza because I want to see the next game she wants to play. So this is also a thing that some men do not understand in the dating game. I could be wrong, I could be right, but like I was saying, not every woman, or majority of times, for you to have ascertained that woman as your type of woman, trust me, pizza is not a problem. But when we think every time a woman would ask you for something means she's not wife material, no. Sometimes she doesn't want to hear the conversation. Sometimes, they can even say one annoying thing. They might even behave in a way like they can't hear you. You are talking to her, she's walking as though she can't hear you. It's that she just wants to irritate you because she knows if she engages you in a conversation, you might get her attention. So she doesn't want to give you that attention. But sometimes they need you to persist more. So you have to now decide. In whichever way you can gauge a woman's desire, that is how you approach her. If her desire is tending towards 0, you don't want to waste your time. But if her desire is tending towards 50, that is when you now want to engage in conversation. But sometimes when her desire is 100, even with eye contact, she's already waiting for you to ask her to give you a number. And sometimes you will purposely not ask her for that number so that she will wonder if it's because she's not fine enough. Because it's all part of the game. And one thing you must know is the game is the game. Even if you don't know the game is still being played. If you know the game, then you use it to your own advantage. But inside of the dating pool, you see everybody walking, they are walking with different mindsets, different ideas, different things they want to achieve from the other gender. So you must read above looking for a wife material when you are dating, especially when it's somebody you are meeting randomly. Or you must judge beyond, okay, this person, what do this person really want? Because if it's now in a relationship, it's a different ball game. But if it's not in a relationship, come on, fam. I don't think you can know women like that. And modern day women are not rude or thieves. Modern day women is just, this time is not enough. Can be like go extend my time, but it's okay.
All right, thank you so much. Who is going next? Is it what is it called? Kings, right?
Yeah, man. See, I kind of like get what Kong is saying, and I also get what Coco is saying. Coco is not really wrong with what he's saying. Now, there are younger women, for example, that are in their 20s, for example, and you are in your 30s or 40s trying to date the woman. I mean, she doesn't really, she knows what she wants, but then she doesn't know how right and wrong it is. Women need to be, women tend to know what they're doing, but whether what they're doing is right or wrong is another thing now. So we men, who seem to be a bit more logical than women, tend to know the right and the wrong if you're a reasonable man and you were brought up with the right morals, right? And so then we kind of like project a lot, and men like to solve problems. And when someone's phone is ringing, men like to project their knowledge of what they believe that logic is and what they should be doing, at every point in time. But we have to understand that there are various sort of women. The older women seem to have formed their character. Sorry, I was doing some exercise, maybe breathing a bit more. So older women seem to have a character that does not want to change, and they are going to be focused on that character and continue to do that. If you try to tell them, they'll shame you and do all those sort of things because they don't willing really to listen. But a lot of them want to listen. I'm not trying to say that it's all of them, okay? But then when you come to, that's hence the reason why they don't like that women are continue to go now for younger women, because they're hoping that they're going to be able to show them and teach them and make them understand what really dating is all about and the true values of it. Okay, now we are hoping also that we make sure that that when we find a woman who's younger now, that she's not too young for you now, because now she's gonna grow up and realize, oh, you're too old for her. So you're still having to deal with the risks involved with that. So depending on what you're looking for in a woman, yeah, so many times you just have to, give her, show her those things, and and she learns from it. But then like someone who was saying that, how you dealing with a woman who already shouldn't know? I mean, why would I be dealing with a woman who already shouldn't know that I'm about to pay for this thing and I don't have my money or my cash here with me, right? And she's a grown woman, she's over 40 years old. If she's 25 years old and she doesn't have a job, it's different. But this is a grown woman, for example, I'm giving, right, who's works, who's got money, and you're trying to pay for a meal, for example, and you don't have your card now, you're looking for your card, and she doesn't care about opting to pay. You see, you can't teach that woman that you should just take home with you that this is who she is. She's going to ruin your life. She's only here for herself. You can't, obviously. You get what I'm saying? So now men should do one thing, yeah? And I'm going to say that men are responsible for whatever it is that women do, right? At the end of the day, right? We are the ones that are making women do what they do. Why are we making women do? Since we know better, Abi, yeah? And we're the ones that are more logical. So we actually know. So stop marrying a woman because you get nyash. Stop marrying a woman because you get her vagina the sweet, that because the sweet, oh, she fine, stop marrying her because you know what you're gonna get when the real chips are down and reality is now facing you in that family. She's not gonna be that for you. That's not what you saw when you're dating her. So it's not gonna change, bro. So you are the one, these weak men that are doing these things are the ones that are, and as soon as you do this and the men become strong, and then they start making decisions based on your so-called logic, and you're no longer about the nyash, you know what I'm saying? Women are going to now start lining up in forming in their formation. They'll be go to get to their formation. They'll get to it straight away because now Hanyash is no longer doing that thing for you because you're going to take your decision regardless of the Nyash. So please, man, guys, that's the problem. But then, how can I say that? Man, we want to fuck. We don't want to lose that pussy. That's what's going on. So therefore, we're going to have to face the music when it comes, when you're deciding to marry such a woman who has not given you the values that you require, for you to be in that sort of relationship with that woman. So that's all I really got to say, pretty much. So it's all down to the men, the weak men.
Let me sneak in a submission before the host comes back. So as I was saying, guys, so what do men struggle with in a relationship? Actually, what everybody has said is correct. The only one I wanted to say was men actually struggle with being men in relationship. Just like SBC said, when we want to answer this question, it must be with respect to men and leaving women alone. Some men tie being a man to random things like finances, things like the ability to sleep with many women, things like the ability to want to, stand as a red pill man. You see, those things can create struggles for men. When men do not know how to define who they really are in relationships, no matter the dynamics of the relationship, then that can be very challenging. Because whether or not you are dating from Africa or wherever in the world, men must be able to adjust and find the balance as to what still makes you a man and maintain that masculinity. It will be a lie for you to think outside of Africa you are no longer an African as a man. Let me tell you, you see that Western woman, she's looking for your manliness to follow. You see that Asian woman, she identifies when you are an African man. Everybody in the world is known by their identity. When Africans leave Africa and think Africa stops in Africa because they are outside of Africa, it can actually make them struggle. But you must hold that strong mentality to want to know that when you are a man, it must be independent of what the world thinks or what any other person thinks, and have a good identity for yourself. Because at the end of the day, when a person who looks at you, black skin, African by mentality, expects you to behave European, that will be a challenge for you. It's not in your DNA, it's not your lived experience, it's not what you admire, it's not what you emulate. Does that mean men cannot behave Western? Of course you can. Men can move with the ideologies that was never born with them, but that is if you choose to. But when you look at the scope of what's going on in relationships, what men actually do struggle with is actually being a man. Sometimes your ability to not know how to lead and lead effectively, not because of your finance, but because you know who you are in your own skin. See, tradition, culture exceeds borders. If that's not true, how did the Asians, how are they doing it, living in other countries and still being Asians? It is only Africans, I hear the statement, they will say, when you're not in Africa, you should drop your Africanness in Africa. But other cultures, other races, they don't think like that. You know why? It is okay for you to go to a place and accept the laws of the land. It is okay for you to go to a place and live by the laws that govern the land. But it is not okay for you to go to a place and assume the identity of that place. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And whoever is telling you that is part of the reason why you will continuously struggle. So you must find how to effectively lead as to who you are, no matter where you find yourself, but knowing how to integrate where you are with your true divine nature. If you know you are a man who can divinely be an African, then when you want to move, when you are moving to a different place, you will find the balance as to how you would adopt the rules of the place you are going to while still maintaining your identity. But what most men do not know is that most men try to want to adopt the identity of another. So by the time I'm living in Italy and I'm saying, oh, this is Italy, this is not Africa where I can be that typical African man, I have already failed. Because every time I try to be non-African, I will not be the best of Italian and I will not be an African. So that means I'll be lost in relationship because my wife would not know where to follow me from. Because if I try to lead as an Italian, I will fail. But I'm not embracing being an African. So what then am I really? Until men begin to understand their identity away from the women they are with, until men can begin to stand on their identity away from who they find themselves in a relationship with, until men can begin to know that you are not a woman, you are not a man because a woman is under you, until men begin to know that you are not a man because of the size of your bank account, until men begin to know that you are not a man not just because of the things you wear or the things you desire, but men must understand you are a man according to the principles you stand on, according to the business you stand on, according to that same tradition which you've been able to translate into your everyday being. Being 2024 does not mean the year where being African becomes a crime. Somebody's asking me, what is an African man? That is first the problem. I don't need to explain it to you. If you don't know, then that's okay. But when you are wanting to find who you are, you must achieve that first before you lead a woman. There is no... Sorry, guys. There is no woman who would follow you efficiently and perfectly when you don't even know where you are headed. There would always be a struggle. There will always be that complication in your style of leadership, because some days will come, your African side will be triggered. Some days will come, you would want to be Western. Some days will come, you would want to tell her, where I come from, this is how we are. Some days will come, you would tell her, no, don't do that, because that's not how we're supposed to be in this house, because that's African way of living. So, like I said, everything every other person said is correct, but this is what I feel is major to me. That Africanness in you, or that Western man in you, or that European in you, until men know how to define their identity in relationships and let the women see them for what they are and who they are, and they're able to stand by it, then of a fact, relationships will begin to work better. I'm not saying what the other people said is away from it, but I'm only adding to it that this, for me, is what I have seen in all of my conversations on TikTok and on social media. When men talk about relationships, their expectations from women, and what they hope to do in relationships, at the baseline, what is missing is identity, because you can't know where they stand. You can't know what they function by. You can't know the principles that they are on. And that alone can be confusing for women. Because when women go into relationships, three things they look for. They look for power, they look for cognitive ability, and they look for genes. So if these three things are not present in a relationship, most times you see the men struggling. Because when the man talks about, oh, I have money, now she has money. When the man talks about, oh, I have big bowler, now she knows that she doesn't even really need it. She has a dildo. When the man now talks about, oh, but am I not a fine man? She knows she needs something beyond the beauty. So at some point, men must know that until you begin to acquire these things that the women cannot have, even if they choose to buy it, there would always be a problem at the baseline. Thank you very much.
Can I say something? When I say there's culture, our culture does not align over international borders. I live here and I see a lot of African men struggling with the fact of culture in their homes. I mean, there was a country a few days ago who was telling a certain nationality of women to stop calling them police because culture is struggling in our Western society. And it's not about not loving our culture. It's not about not identifying with our culture. It's not about us not knowing where we come from. We all know where we come from. We are all black. We are all Africans. But when you are now living in a society that is different, where the authority and the headship of a man can be replaced by court, can be replaced by laws, can be replaced by many things, while in an African setting, this is not so. You're living in a culture where this is the dominant culture. You can have your African culture within African, in your homes and within your laws, within your heart. You can say, I'm an African, but then when you walk out the door, if you're living in that culture, you're living in that culture, and that culture takes away certain things that was the way they were back home. If we are not going to sit here and say that that is not a fact, and we're not facing the fact, we're sitting in a delusion that we will never be able to solve this problem. A few days ago, UK police called a national women and said to them, a particular nationality, and said, stop calling us. There's an epidemic going on with a clash between culture and laws, between dominant society. I did not interrupt you. There's a culture domination going on. I did not interrupt you. There's a culture clash going on between our African culture and the dominant culture. No one is saying let's not keep our culture. No one is not saying that we are not Africans, but we need to be able to state the fact that when Africans are now not in Africa, there's a change. And until we realize this, our marriages will always completely be in danger. Our marriages will not be able to survive because we are moving from one culture to another, and we are in that society. And our mentality, our mindsets, if we do not align ourselves and we do not train our children, train our homes, train our women, train them to live in this new culture and still be African, we will not be able. Stop talking about Africa when people are not there. People are fighting, kicking their husbands, kicking their wives out. People are taking people to court, to laws. Husbands are running the streets. Everything they've built for is being thrown out of the thing. And you're still talking about African culture. It works in Africa. It doesn't work over here. Sorry,
Keleto. I must come in.
Address it.
Please. I must come in now. Keleto, sorry, with all due respect, I want to say something to you so you can understand very well. It's not by coming here and speak big grammar and talk sweet and no. It's to talk the reality. Okay, you are fine. How come we are facing difficulties? You did not even address that. How come they are facing difficulties? They took their culture away from their boundaries and they went to another man's and want to go and practice another culture that is not working out. They are having problems, and you are still asking them to adapt to that. How about the Indians and the Chinese and the Hindus?
Anyone to adapt.
Hold on.
Stop talking one way.
No, you try to stop someone from interrupting you right now. So hold on. That is being disrespectful if you repeat the same thing. So let me tell you, you went to another man's land that you cannot practice the culture there. You are trying to practice their culture, which is not working, their tradition, their way of life, which is not working out, has been causing problems on the internet, in reality and every way, and is not working out. And you are still asking us to imply and impose their way of life. It doesn't make any sense to me. Indians will go to that same European, that Western world. They will stick to their own culture and they live peacefully. How many Indians have you seen online, on the internet, on TV, live screen TV that comes and they're having problems with their marital homes? It's only we Africans. And you're asking us to go and adapt to where we went to. Who says that? Who says we must adapt to where we... Wait, no, sorry, I'm coming down. Who says it's a must that we will adapt to where we when they say a man, when you get to Rome, you behave like the Romans do. It doesn't apply. It does not apply to marriage system at all. You have to practice that marriage, that marital life, the way you are programmed or the way you understand it very well in order for peace to reign. It is some of us who went there, especially our women. They will go there, they want to adapt to nonsense, unnecessary practices that you would think it will favor you. You will see the bright side of it, but you will not see the darkness, the dark side of it. You will not see the dark side of it. You will see the bright side, maybe the money and the advantages that is coming out of it if you treat your husband the way other women are treating their husband. So you now feel okay, you are up to that task of doing it, and why you are not even regarded in that same land. So why won't you practice your own tradition that you have as an African wherever on earth you want to live? No, sorry, I will land. Why can't you? Are you saying? Hold on, please. Are you saying, Keleto? Are you saying that you cannot live in Europe or live in the Western world practicing your tradition, your normal tradition as an African?
I said,
wait now. Let me just say.
That's what I heard you say.
Africans need to start.
That's what I heard you say.
No,
we cannot adjust. Hold on. Africans cannot adjust. It is Europeans that should adjust. Hold on. It is Europeans. Hold on. I'm still talking. King.
I'm saying African marriages are breaking abroad.
You are belittling Africans if you say Africans need to adjust. Europeans need to adjust. In terms of marital life, you are not an European.
There's a new culture. There's no
culture. There's no culture that is not supreme to African culture.
It's not working.
I totally go against that. Hold on.
Wait, see.
It is belittling for you to say Africans need to adjust. African, who says, who gave you, who is more powerful for us to be adjusted to? Who says that? I don't understand. Europeans need to adjust.
This topic is about men.
The topic,
and
whatever
what
I want to say it, I don't care. See, let me tell you, I heard everything you said, and I heard you clearly. You are asking us, hold on. You are saying that Africans that living in diaspora. Hold on now. Keleto is saying the Africans are in diaspora. They should practice the way the Europeans are living. That's what I heard you say.
You can't live the way you lived in Africa in abroad. It doesn't work.
You can actually it will work. It is you people that don't want it to work.
See,
it will work. How come Indians are not practicing European culture and they are living peacefully? How come?
Coco, if you are screaming, it will look like you are just shouting.
I have to admit, I give it to her the way she gave it to us. I have to give it to her that way.
You can give it to me. It doesn't mean that people are not going to court.
People what? See the way you speak. For instance, see the way you speak. See the way you speak.
Calm down.
You are trying to imitate the way they talk. You imitate the way they talk.
I'm not imitating anything. I'm saying.
Hold on now, please. I'm still talking.
You
imitate the way they talk.
What's going on?
She imitates the way they talk. You imitate the way they dress. You put on black hair, and you want us to adapt to everything that they do.
Coco, not be
This
so
is
that
uncalled for you to say Africans don't believe their better. Please, can we just
mute?
Your name is what they're
It's not
calling.
about,
Please, let's
it's not
just
about
respect each
screaming.
other here.
now.
Exactly.
Please.
So please, guys.
What's going
so
on?
It's not about
What's really
screaming.
going on here?
Okay, Ekene. So I made a submission about something, and Keleso responded, and in a responding, Coco was trying to respond, and he was maybe speaking in loud tones, and I'm trying to let him know that it's not about the yelling, it's about the education. And let me give her a little education. First things first, there is no country in the world that is against any culture. Show me a country that has in its constitution that says African culture is not allowed in this country. Show me any country in the world and I will drop $1,000. There is no country in the world that is against any culture, because the moment you do, you will be against human rights. So first of all, it is a delusional statement to think that Africans are struggling outside of Africa because of their culture. No, when people struggle in marriages, it is a family dysfunction and not a cultural thing. And let me put it to you, something you must understand today. If you don't understand the politics of relocation or living in another man's land, you should not be in that land. Because when you go there and you lose an identity, it's not a function of the land you went to. It's a function of you who went to that land. Number one thing, you said, oh, when people come, they have to adapt, that the government organized a press conference for the people. Okay, now, let me give you a little education again about that same video. That video was done over 6 years ago. And over 6 years ago, it was not even addressing the women about the marriage. It was about child violence that happened in that same city.
Guys,
or
let's
whatever.
keep our tapping. Let's keep our
As a form of awareness, the police was just speaking to people in the church like, okay, we need to take discipline more importantly, because this kind of things can get out of hand. We as African people, you might be working so hard because you want to build things in your home, but now you need to focus on raising children. That video had nothing to do with family dysfunction or otherwise. That thing you see on online is just misinformation. But then again, when you are African, to be African is not to beat your wife. To be African is not to bully your wife. To be African is not to step on any woman. If you think that people who struggle with, respecting their wives or their wives respecting their husband, you now categorize that as African, then you are telling the men that they have come into a new culture, that they should know that being outside of Africa, the things that happens in Africa does not work where they are. See, that already tells me the problem. This is why Africa will never rise. This is why the politics of Africa will always be under, because even Africans themselves don't even know what it is that they are. When you go to a place, you are not going to that place because where you are coming from is inferior. No, when you walk into a place, and identify as who you are. Because like I said, why is there Chinatown in every modern society in the world? Why did they not try to be South Africa town? Why did the Chinese, in Nigeria, as I'm speaking to you, there is a place where only Pakistanis live. Why are they not trying to be Igbos? Why are they not trying to be Hausa? If you go there, still another place again where only Indians live. Do you know why? Because they understand the sense of culture. They understand the sense of identity. They know that when we go to a different land, we are a people in a different land. They are not trying to be the people of that land. If you listen to the saying, it says, when you are in Rome, behave like a Roman. It never said when you are in Rome, become a Roman. So whether you think you want to sound touche or you want to sound nice or you want to sound so politically correct, your statement, everybody who has a brain and who is an intellectual and who understands the politics of things already knows that at the bottom of it, you don't even know what it means. You don't even know what it means to actually integrate or assimilate. So whether or not people want to sound like the culture is struggling because they are trying to be African, I will still stand on business. Whoever whose phone is ringing, I will still stand on business. Any country you go to, show me in their constitution, show me in their police rights, show me in their books where they have said we do not allow your Africanness in this place. You cannot come here and say you are the provider of the home. You cannot come here and say you want to defend your wife. You cannot come here and say you are the protector. You cannot come here and say your wife is the most important thing, because that's African culture. If you can show me one country, Australia, UK, US, any country that says that, then I will know your statement is correct.
All right. Kong, are you done with this constitution? Okay, at the end of the day, without being yelled at, there's a new breed of people coming up. and there's a new breed of okay, to me there are three different types of Africans. There's an African who lives in Africa, who grows up in Africa, and their marriage works in Africa under society, under culture, under rights. There's a culture of people who have migrated to abroad, and when they migrate, they are facing different challenges. They are facing different things, and these marriages are falling apart because of what they're facing. And then there's another culture of people who have been there, who have lived abroad, and they've been there generational after generation, and they've been there for a long time. Now, when we go on these platforms and we are talking like everybody is the same.
Let's pass up and share the live, guys.
Everybody is exactly the same. The way they think is exactly the same. And you're advising. If I'm on a platform and a woman tells me I'm in the middle of somewhere in Africa and I want to leave my husband, I'll ask her, why do you want to leave your husband? Is that a wise decision to do? Because if you leave, is he the sole provider of your family? Is that the right thing to do? You tell someone who's abroad, I'm about to leave my husband. Your advice is different. What annoys me is everyone on this platform, not you guys on this platform, but on TikTok, people on TikTok think everybody's the same. Culture is a beautiful thing. I come from culture, but you can't apply it in every single situation. We need to address the situation that's happening. Marriages are breaking because everyone is trying to live a certain way that they can't because of the circumstances they're in. Until we as Africans actually arise and start addressing these people who are not in Africa, who are in abroad, who are struggling in marriages, and address to their problem, address to them for their marriages to work in their particular way. It's not all going to work by you saying,
answer is there.
People.
Sorry,
Kelechi.
The answer is there.
Sorry, Coco,
the
can I
answer
talk?
is there.
I love people that just come in to talk now.
They are trying to practice what they are.
Let's allow people that just
practicing.
Speak.
They are practicing. The answer is. The answer is looking at you there. They are practicing. They are practicing what they are not supposed to and what they cannot practice.
Only Coco cannot be talking.
Coco,
thank you. Can I talk now?
Let's have a mature conversation here.
Can I talk now? Can I talk?
Please. Let's respect each other.
Ekene, can I talk?
We have Big Jonas.
Allow us speak, please. Let's everybody.
Thank you, Ekene.
I see that.
Kelechi, so I understand what you're trying to say. I think a lot of times we just listen to attack and we just, we are not open-minded to an open conversation. I think what Kelechi is trying to say is that in the world globally now, there is a cultural change in every culture in the world. And this has nothing to do with African culture or Pakistan, even the so-called Indians that you are talking about. There is a change. There is a global change in their culture. And this global change is not about Africa alone. Like things are changing. Things are changing now. The way I was raised, the way I was brought up is not the way. This is not about going abroad. Even in our so-called Africa, the way I was raised when I was growing up is not the way the children of nowadays are raised. That is to show you that the culture is shifting, is changing. And if you look at this divorce thing that you're talking about, it's not even only people that go abroad. What about the people that are home? It's happening. Why do a woman that is living with a man just okay, I don't want to be? Why do we have more of single mothers now in Nigeria? It has nothing to do with abroad. If back home we are seeing all these things. When I come on my platform, you see women come. I'm single. I'm a single mom. I'm a single mom. These are people that they've not even smelled the airport. Sometimes these are people that they are not even learned. They are not even educated. But why? Why are they being single mom? Because their eyes are opening. We are now in a global world. You don't need to go abroad before you know what is happening in the outer world because of social media. People are seeing what is happening outside of their own culture. People are seeing that, oh, look at this. If these people could do this, and let me do it, let me try it and see if it is going to work. So it is not about abroad. It is not about, oh, because they are going abroad, they are doing this. Even back home, we are seeing all those things. So I think we should, when somebody is talking, we should calm down and listen and look at the perspective this person is coming out for. And then adapting to the core. You said you can be in another country and then practice your own culture. Of course, it is true. But let me tell you one thing. Sometimes it can be contradicting. Do you know why? Because of the law of that land. As a Christian, I cannot go to an Arab country and boldly come out. And I'm not saying they don't practice. You can pray in your house and boldly come out and start saying, yes, Jesus loves you, or start making noise. Do you know that it can shape my own belief because of the law that is placed in the land? So there is limitation to what you can do in another man's land. I'm not saying the culture is not going to work. Of course, it's going to work, but some things will change. It's not going to come 100%. Like when I came to America, we all know in Africa, if you have people that they are older than you, you respect them by using ma, sir, or brother, auntie, uncle. Now, I came here. It's not like that. Everybody calls each other by their name. How many people do you want to force to start saying, hey, you must do this. Hey, you must do that because it's my culture. It's in Africa. This is how many people. You cannot even touch somebody else's children. You cannot, so many laws that are here. So when you are in Rome, they say, act like a Roman. To an extent, I'm not saying you will practice your culture, but trust me, it's not going to be 100%. The so-called Indians you're talking about, they don't practice that culture 100%. In other land, I'm not talking about America. Please, I'm just responding to what Coco said. So I'm not changing any topic. I'm just responding to what I meet on ground. So please, I'm not coming back to why do men struggle, because I don't know what really people have said about it. But please, let's just listen to each other to understand that things are changing now. We are not in the 1990s, 1980s. We are in the 2000s, and a lot of things are changing globally. Thank you. I'm going to stop here.
Hey, can you please just give me 3 minutes? Let me just quickly say
hold on, please. Guys, if you're just joining, you're welcome. Guys, don't forget to follow the host. Tap, share the live. Click the plus button, follow the host, so that whenever I come on live, you can always get a notification. And please, grab the at me, guys. Keep grabbing the at me, please, so that we can always build, a community and build a family. You understand what I'm saying? So, and don't forget my live goals. Support the live so that everything can go. Keep following. Follow the host. It's very important. All right.
okay.
Come on, I should give you
3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes. Or 5 minutes. Make it 5.
Which one you want?
5. Give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
All right.
Okay. Mrs. Young.
Guys, don't forget to tap and share the live. Follow the host.
Do you know why, Mrs. Young? Do you know why I accept your submission? Because you innocently gave something which you spoke about some other thing that is correct, but you just mix different terminology. But it is still not even in line with what Keleso is saying or what any other person is saying. And I'm still going to stand on business. For example, globalization has nothing to do with culture. The advent of technology never said you should destroy your shrine if your village they worship shrine. You who decides to accept technology and scatter your village shrine, it is you who chose to scatter it. Technology never said your shrine must go because they want to do roads. The problem with African is the inferiority complex of what they think they practice and believe. What you practice and believe has no comparison with another person because that person has what they practice and believe. When I see a European, I am not measuring who I am by who an European is. This is first the problem of you Africans. You must stop being black Europeans. When I walk into Australia, I'm not trying to see if where I come from should look like Australia. I'm accepting what Australia is because that's how Australians live. If I must stay in their houses, I know I'm not in Africa, but I will not be comparing their housing structure with where I'm coming from. The problem is most Africans think that they are doing a prison break when they now travel abroad. So what they start doing, they start saying, oh, in Africa, this thing is so backward. This is not how it's supposed to be. When they come back from Africa, they begin to see an inferior place. No, it is not Africa who changed. It is your mentality that dropped because you have gone to a place where you fail to even recognize that you should be proud of what it is that you have. So by the time I go to a certain place, I'm about to teach them where I come from. This is what happens. Let me tell you, if they call me Mazi Kong in Nigeria and I go to Australia, if I have a company and I employ white people, all of them will fucking call me Mazi Kong. I don't care who you are. In this place, that is my name. You know why? I am your boss. I'm paying you. But if a neighbor sees me and calls me Kong, guess what? Common sense only says that I will just allow him because he's not where I'm from. But if I meet SBC, a Nigerian in Australia, guess what I'll tell him? SBC knows where we are coming from. I will say, SBC, my name is Mazi Kong. Do you know why SBC will refer me to Mazi Kong? Because me and him, we have a similar structure where we are coming from. And he would be respecting that because we both have same identity. Now, the problem is not whether there is a shift. The reason why there is a shift is because the borders have been cleaned. And as long as the borders have been cleaned, we have people who cannot think for themselves. So there is now a rub-off from culture to culture. So there is a Nigerian who thinks being a baby mama is okay. There's an American who thinks respecting her husband is okay. So Mrs. Young, let me now let you know something so that you help me answer this question. So let's look at a typical African marriage. A man who loves, protects, and provides for his home. A woman who nurtures her home and listens to her husband. If these two people with this understanding they go to the UK, do you think that marriage will break down? It will not break down. I need if you must speak that African marriages are struggling because of the culture, I need you to tell me what is that African culture that is struggling in the marriage, because 97% of you don't even know what it means to be African. Most of the times you people have tried to identify abuse as African. You have tried to abuse you have taken a disrespectful man as African. See, the parts of my culture that will not blend, it means me, I must apply common sense to want to take that, oh, if I must practice this thing, I'm either going to practice it in a way that will seem right and will not break the laws. It is the laws of the land that matter, not my culture. It is I keep saying it again. Go and check. There is no constitution. See, every country even embraces diversity. At the core of every country, diversity must be its principles, or if not, you are anti-humanity. But for you as an African to want to think that practicing your culture is the reason why your marriage will struggle, hence why you want to find it easy to want to embrace your other thing, no, there will be a problem. You know why? The man who is abusive, whether he's in Africa or outside of Africa. Some of the men that are being reported, they are being reported because outside of Africa. Oh my days.
Can I ask him a question?
Let him finish. You take it through your own time. Go ahead.
See, the men who are struggling outside of Africa.
1 minute is added to your time.
Thank you. A man who is in Africa who is abusive, that is the man who is abusive outside of Africa will still be abusive. It is not being outside of Africa that now makes his Africanness the problem. No, is that if his wife never respects him, she will not respect him because they are in the UK. If a man never respected his wife in Nigeria, or maybe he's hiding under the guise of being the provider and she cannot say anything to him, and now going outside of Africa, she's already feeling like she now has a voice. Guess what? It is the man who failed to rule his home from a place of leadership, but from a place of subduing a woman. You cannot subdue a woman under the guise of being African and you think that is African. You cannot make a woman less of a woman and you think that is African. Then guess what? She now sees going outside of Africa as a way to get back at you, and you put that on the culture. What the hell are you talking about? In fact, do you know the funny thing? Before you want to talk about Africa, you must give us an extensive essay of what you know about Africa, because I put it to every one of you. Before you are speaking about culture and tradition, you are picking the loopholes. And guess what? It is an African that thought about human rights and equality, that all man is equal. It is still Africans that fight for the rights of women and the interests of women. Europeans never ever respected women in history the way Africans did. So what the hell are you talking about Africa?
Thank you. It's my turn, I beg. I've been waiting the whole time.
Can I ask a question before
please, let's wait 1 minute. I'm coming. Just to continue.
I just want to drop. I'm gonna drop. I'm coming.
Okay, let her have it so that she can ask. Sweet banana, let her see she's leaving.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
This thing has nothing to do with Africa.
You can ask him a question through your time if you wish.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with Africa. It has nothing to do with culture. Like, it has nothing to do with inferiority or anything that has to do with, what we feel
Guys, let's keep parts happy.
What we feel as Africans, or if we are inferior or anything like that. This has nothing to do with it. My point was simple. A lot of African marriages are suffering abroad. This is a fact. And a lot of it has to do, this is my question, a lot of it has to do with African men and African women trying to take, a lot of the thing is, you're saying that women, men are struggling because they can't provide. Culture tells women that men should be the sole provider. Okay, that's one example. Culture says a man should be the sole provider of a home. And yet you come to the West and a man can't sole provide. So how then are you saying that it works? How?
Did I answer the question?
No, that's one of my questions. The second question is, why are marriages surviving in Africa, and when they come abroad, they're not surviving? Why are African marriages breaking up like, a lot of men and women are together. As soon as they cross border, they go overseas. Next minute, they're divorcing. Why are they divorcing? Are you telling me it's not because it doesn't work it only works in Africa? It doesn't. The same people, they were happy in Africa.
Are you asking a question?
Yeah, that's my question. I want to know.
Okay, good. So first question, when culture says be the provider in your home, culture never said be the financial provider. And to be a provider is not limited to only finance. It is weak men who think for them to be providers, then they must be rich. So guess what? When culture was being set as being the provider, you must ask what was the status of the women. If in 2024, men do not understand that when it comes to financial provision, because of inflation and policies of different countries or nations, you must be willing to work with your wife to be able to shoulder that, because it is difficult. Financial provision is only a tool of manipulation that women in Africa have been able to induce into the marriage systems, that if you do not understand what it means to be a provider, you would think provision is only tied to finances. Guess what? So what if you are married to the woman who earns 6 times of your salary? How then are you going to be a provider? Because if you think provision is when it comes to finances, then you have failed, first of all, as a woman. So that is not tied to culture. Now, when a marriage is breaking in outside of Africa, and you call that an African marriage, and you're asking why it is breaking, it's because it was bound to break, because the two people are not compatible. Guess what? If I marry my best friend and I have her best interest at heart, which woman will now go to a different country and say, the man that has my best interest at heart, I want to divorce him? So when a weak man or when a weak woman don't understand what they want out of marriage, and they endure marriage because of what it is where it is that they are living, and they go to a different nation and they now choose to use the advantages or the loopholes of that law against their partner, guess what? I don't see a problem with culture. I see a man who has taken advantage of the loopholes of another culture. There is no culture in the world that gives equal rights to both men and women. Africa allows men to get away with the excesses. Europe allows women to get away with the excesses. You know why? When I choose to identify as African, I accept the good and bad that comes with Africa. When I choose to identify as African, when it comes to the good, I stand with my full chest. And when it comes to the bad, I try to apply common sense. You know why? Because when I'm living with a wife, I'm not living with the enemy. I'm living with somebody that is supposed to blossom within my own presence. So if you are thinking that the man who is taking advantage of the loopholes in Africa is now the African man, then you are mistaken, you are failing. Because when you marry non-leaders and you are expecting the non-leaders to lead, you cannot now begin to tie them to the identity of a whole last people. Now let's go to Europe as another example. So how come the women are not worried that Europe is allowing them to get away with the excesses? But then again, you are happy to want to tell the men to adjust to the thing that favors the women, but not understanding that it's only a drawdown in the culture that exists in that place that you are living in. Do you know why the women don't complain about Europe, host? Do you know why they don't complain about it? Because it makes them sit comfortably, just the way the men do not complain about what happens in Africa. So by the time you are talking about marriage and the dynamism of marriage, you should be paying attention to the person you are married to and ask yourself, do you want to be married to this person, or you are just marrying them for the comfort of it? Because guess what? A dog is a dog, even in Europe and outside of Europe. A goat is a goat in Europe and outside of Europe. It is not the culture that makes the man, it is the man that makes the culture. It is not the office that makes the man, it's the man that makes the office. So if your husband is not a leader in Africa, he would never be a leader outside of Africa. So the issues you are facing is the quality of the man and woman in the marriage. Marriage has been the same throughout time. It is the people that claim to be smarter and begin to imbibe nonsense behaviors, thinking that they are smarter than the institution of marriage. Thank you.
All right. Sweet banana. Sweet banana, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah. Thank you very much. Kong, good one, amazing submission. And I think I'm going to continue from where you just stopped. A pig in Africa is a pig in Europe, no matter where. One of the reasons why marriages are failing in Europe is not because the African
guys,
people...
let's keep part happy. Let's keep part happy and share the light, guys.
It's not because the African people... because they change their location is the reason why the marriages are failing. Any marriage that starts on the wrong foundation will definitely fail. You see, there are so many things that we fail to understand. In a situation where so many of us, we go into relationship with the wrong intention. We go into relationship with what we can get, not what we can give. So anytime that relationship is questioned, the loopholes is going to expose itself. That's why you see so many of us. A woman can keep quiet in Africa, listening to the man. Not that she's happy, but when she comes to Europe, she sees the loophole, the opportunity to express herself because there's room for her to express herself. See, be you a man or a woman, from a place of self-development, before you go into relationship with the person, you should know what you are submitting for, what you are trying to go into partnership with. It is so sad that nowadays, when we talk about irresponsibility, we tend to tie irresponsibility to an African man. An African man is not an irresponsible man. If the people in your neighborhood or your environment are irresponsible, that is not a representative for an African man. African man don't do 50-50. African man don't ask what you bring to the table. These are Eurocentric laws. You understand? It's not Afrocentric. An African man is a warrior. We stand and take care of our family. But the thing is this, it is so sad that what we see nowadays, we tend to always, especially on this social media platform, when we want to put down our African culture, we tend to look at our grandfather, our father, or one irresponsible man in our neighborhood that his erection was his direction, to now explain that is an African man. No, that is a useless man that don't know himself. That is not an African man. And if you also raised in an environment where you had a mother who could not prioritize what she wants, that did not think about her mental health, that decided to stay in a place where she's being abused, that is not African setting. This is decision-making skill. You understand? If a woman chose to, I'm going to stay in this marriage where she will be abused in order for me to raise my children right. Why there's another woman that will say, you know what? Before they will come and buy me and buy my children, let me run away. You understand? But at the end of the day, we need to look at ourselves. What can we fix and merge together with the Afrocentric and Eurocentric? Now we are now in the middle. You understand? Let's take what is good here and let's take what is bad there. Because whether we like it or not, no matter how long you stay in the Western world, you will never be a white man. You will never be a white man. And may God not allow anything to stop tomorrow. If bell ring and is set, everybody will carry your cross. You understand? Everybody will still go home. But let us stop talking about our yesterday and stop talking about making excuses for our today. Let's fix reality for our tomorrow, which is our children. You that you are standing for European law or African law, what do you know? What do you know that you can teach your children, that when your children can stand the problem that face the world tomorrow? You see, so many of us tend to, instead of us to blame our bad character and work on ourselves, we want to try to blend it on that. Oh, it is because it's not working in Africa. That's why it's not working in Europe. It is not working for so many of us with this our color. How come it's working for the Indians? How come it's working for the Chinese? These same people, they are still in the same Europe with us. They are still in the same Europe with us. How many times have you seen a Chinese woman fighting the husband in the central station? How many times have you seen a Chinese man beating the wife in the central station? You know, these things we need to see. We are not each other's enemy. We need to stop this gender war. At the end of the day, we'll not connect it to where we are coming from. In as much as so many of us, we are product of our environment. But let us not forget, for how long are we going to keep blaming our environment if we cannot go back to the drawing board and work on ourselves? Ekene, you know me. I'm a small boy. I do not have sense. I mute my mic.
My brother, that one that told me to be concerned.
No, that's not. You know, happen now, more.
I did, Big Joe. Big Joe, you want to make your own submission?
Submission quick. If you know, give me my 5 minutes. You know what? Good morning, panel of judges and co-debaters and audience.
Big Joe, before you make your submission, no scatter this panel. Go ahead.
Listen, this is me. That is my calling. This is my calling on TikTok. You cannot change me. Okay? Everybody has his own calling. Some people, their calling is to talk and change things for people to understand on their level. I am not like that. Okay, this is my calling. Now, let me give my submission right now. You know what? This is one thing I don't like when people come on social media. They like to twist the fact for people to listen to them, for them, to buy people idea, to buy people mind. You see, this thing that we're talking about, this thing have been going on for a while now. Let me tell you guys something. African man, I repeat it 3 good times, like what Sweet Banana said. African men are warrior. Like what Kong said, and I will call your name Kong. You said, if marriage that did not work in Nigeria or back home in Africa, how can the same marriage work in Europe? But when you were back home, the marriage is working fine. Your woman is not calling police for you, is not complaining, but she's living in the same house with you right there, and she's happy. Why is it that when they cross this border, that is when the problem comes? I'm asking you that question. Why is it that when they cross the border, that is when the problem comes? But all this while, you guys are living back home. Everything was peaceful and okay. No claiming of house. No complaining 50-50. But it's only when you cross the border you see the 50-50. That is a question for you. For you to figure that out, what is going on. And again, you cannot answer right now. No, you cannot answer right now. You will talk. I'm not going to use the 5 minutes. I just want to point out. And again, and I still repeat it again. I still tell men that live in the Western world, guys, have your plan B, because this war that is coming between the gender, this both gender, is not going to be easy. Have your plan B. I keep singing this thing on social media for a couple of days now. Have your plan B so that you will not put your hand in your head and start shouting hero wo as the way my people shout in Delta State. No way, you cannot do that, because you know you have a plan B. So nothing will happen to you when you fall back to your plan B. That is my advice for men that I'm giving to all men in Europe. All men in Europe have a plan B. Have a plan B in life, because the way these women are coming is a war. It's a war. Because they are coming to pay you guys back. Leaving Africa to Europe or whatever, you got to be wise. Not all. Some of them are out there to pay you guys back in the same coin, because they know they have this right. Once they cross that border and they reach there, the right belongs to them. And there's nothing you can do about it. Some of them can just trigger you just to find yourself into that trap. Brothers, don't fall into that trap. Have your plan B. That is my submission. Who want to take my remaining time?
Okay, I'm going to use your remaining time to answer your question.
Wait,
Mrs. Young, wait, he asked me a question. Don't worry.
I know, please, I want to respond to Big Joe too.
So Big Joe, you asked a question. That question, I don't know, it's quite basic though, but are you having peace in marriage because your wife is enduring, or because you are being a responsible husband? You must ask this question first.
Did your wife
wait now? That's the problem. That's it. You know, I'm not needing your response.
It's my time. I can answer you. It's my
time. It's not. It's a sarcastic and rhetoric question. Then don't ask me if you don't want me to answer. But that's the problem we're having. See, that is the problem we're having. It is not if she's telling you or she's not telling you. The question really is,
why can't she talk? Why will she wait until she crossed the border before she talk?
Here we go.
Why can't she talk when she's back home? Why can't she talk? She have a mouth. This mouth is there. Why can't she talk? Why does she want to wait until she cross?
Okay, maybe you go give me time to answer the questions. So I need to go finish
No,
that.
I'll give you time.
Make him finish. Making time
Still get
finish.
time. So when it's done, I will.
So talk if you want to talk.
Big Joe, let me finish that 35. Big Joe, let me tell you something. I'm sorry. Men like you are the problems we are having. Because, like I said, you are still not open-minded.
I beg, debunk that statement. That is insulting. That is insulting. That is insulting. That is insulting. Forget.
Hold on.
Don't worry, brother. We'll swallow
Don't direct statement to person like that. That's personal. Forget. You're on a public platform.
Let me talk. Wait, sweet banana. Victor always says something like that to me, so don't interfere.
I never mentioned.
I beg, his time has finished, host. Can you give me my time? Mrs. Young, wait, his time has finished.
No, wait. Miriam, Miriam, do you want to, because I have to, a lot of people have made their submissions. Let me ask if Miriam is...
Yeah, because I've been waiting for you guys to talk, but everybody has been talking.
So Miriam, won't you give me your time, Miriam? Miriam is Congo. It's me, your Congo.
I will give you my time. You know, I don't really stay long. But first of all, in Nutraga, I want to appreciate everybody here yesterday that was on my birthday. You know, thank you, Big Joe. I appreciate you. CC, my love. I appreciate everybody for the messages and everything. So let's go back to the topic. So this is my own take here. Honestly, the cultural thing is really affecting a lot of us that lives in diaspora that are married. But one thing we should understand is that why is this, like I was married to somebody that is not from Africa, you know, she's from here. I learned their own culture. As a woman, now I'm coming from the woman's side, as a woman, when you want to keep your home, there is a lot of things we should do. And as a man too, we are only saying about the women. The men do a lot, like Kong said. You can't come here and start doing 50-50 with a woman. A man is responsible for his home, not only financially. You lead, you provide, you protect. There's a lot of things for a man to do. But most of them, they come here and they subpedal and they start doing this 50-50 thing and relegate their whole life, this thing, to a woman. A man is supposed to be a man. Whether he has it or not, you should still have that man thing. And a woman to be your supporter. But by the time you change the narrative because you are in the Western world, it's not going to work. That's why we have a lot of broken marriages here. As soon as they cross the border, they bring a woman and they come here and say, you'll be working and be paying so thing. That's the problem. Learn to be a man. And the woman should be your supporter. Don't really get all the bills to the woman because she's making more than you. It doesn't work like that. Still have your ego as a man. And stand your ground as a man. And any woman that comes all the way and cross the border and feel like it's not that she wants to say something, then she has it already planned. That means something wasn't going right before back home. You understand? That's my own take here. I mean, it's a lot, but
thank you, baby. Give me 3 minutes, baby. Thank you, baby. Big Joe, let me see how you want to unmute that mic. If you don't want thunder to come from heaven, let me unmute that mic. Let me see you. So as I was saying, so when you are talking about peace, you as a man, you must ask yourself these two questions. Do you think you are having peace in your home because your wife is enduring or because you are being a good leader? See, most of the times, what men only see is a product of what has been happening in their relationship when they relocate. You see, it will take only a fool to be married to a good man who is standing for her and has her best interest and will now claim because of being in the UK, let me divorce him. No, people are not fools. If that is the case, then you married the fool from the beginning. It only took being in the UK to expose that side of her. So it's not a confusion whether that is happening or why that should happen. It's straight up talk. So sometimes as men, whether in marriage, you must check your leadership and do your own analysis of your home. By the time you are building a home, you will know if your wife is a wife or she's a knife. And then again, let me add something to what Miriam said. Quite all right. It's good to want to be the provider, sole provider. This is what has sent many African men to their early graves. When you're relocating with your wife to another country, see, communication demands that both of you must assess the situation where you are finding yourself. Come on, you have seen that in your cleaning people's bum or in your selling in a superstore, you cannot be the sole provider. Why can you not have a decent conversation knowing how both of you will patch up? You know why? The home must maintain a united front. Any amount of money that both of you make is the money that the family has. So if both of you cannot handle your financial bills and you want to claim because of the name of being African, you are the sole provider when we're in Nigeria, you're supposed to maintain the same, then you're a woman without common sense. Then you as a man, if you're thinking your respect comes from when you are a sole provider, it means you've already lost the foundation of respect in the home. See, women who respect broke men, you need to go and ask the men how they do it. You know why? Respect does not follow money. Respect follow mentality. If you do not have the mentality, if they give you millions of dollars, you will be a stupid person that is $1 million richer. Nothing changes. See, finance or the potential to make wealth does not change identity. Your identity remains constant no matter your situation. What differentiates you from the next man is the mentality in which you approach situations. So guess what? Men must train to be leaders and not to be situational or positional leaders. You're only a leader when you are in Nigeria because the system does not work. But now that you're in the US, that there is police to check you, you are uncomfortable. You are itching to want to go back to Africa where you tell your wife, shut up, and you do not have a voice. But you are scared to do that outside of Nigeria. Guess what? You were never a leader in the first place. I'm going to wrap up with this. See, as a man, you must learn to lead people that are ahead of you without feeling uncomfortable. The day you achieve that, you have already conquered yourself as a man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sisi, you have something you want to say? Sisi.
Yes.
You want to say something?
I'll be the last because I'm in a noisy place. Sorry, guys. I'll be the last.
All right.
I hope I'm not shouting like Kong and Sweet Banana. Sorry, guys. I'll be the last.
Yeah.
Sissy, baby.
Big dream.
Who is calling my
After
sissy
big
baby?
dreams,
Sissy baby.
please. After big dreams.
I've been listening to everything everybody has been saying. So, what I want to quickly say is that, as a man, I want to make something clear first. When a man marries a woman, everything that woman owns in Africa belongs to that man. He owns both the woman and what he has, and what she owns, whether the salary she's receiving, a house, everything. But in African culture, that is how it is. But because of pride and everything, a woman will tell you she cannot contribute.
My brother, leave comment section. Talk with you want to talk.
Or she cannot contribute, or she cannot help you.
You don't go talk anything.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Nobody go interrupt.
A woman will tell you she cannot help you or contribute because she has crossed to diaspora. She's saying that because she knows that the moment she crossed to this place, she will be financially buoyant, and she's trying to safeguard herself, which is very wrong. But as a man, even though that man knows that he owns the woman and everything she has, because he's a responsible man, he will not even look that way. He will not look that way.